Lovey with a $5 on Venmo saying first Venmo. Yeah, first Venmo of the stream. W for Lovey's in the chat for the first Venmo of the stream. For everyone tuning into the live, it is so good to see each and every single one of y'all. We have another day of debates once again. And Purdy with the here we go for the first gift of the stream. Thank you for the love. It's so good to see you. As always, W's for Purdy in the chat for the two here we goes. If you are voting for Trump, make sure to hop in that queue. We are going to go ahead and bring up our first guest as soon as I see them in the guest requests. But it is seriously so good to see you all. Make sure to say what's good in that comment section. I'm going to try to say hey back. What is up, Ayla, Sean, Sarah, Cherry? What is up, Naya? What is going on, everybody? Mel's, Nunya, what is up, Yoku, Brittany, Ayla, Brittany, Rebecca, Kate, Kim, K Mitz, Brandon, Ariel, J. Welcome in for my first 1,000 friends hanging out with us in here today. Make sure that we are double tapping and sharing this live out. And Joe, thank you for the $10 on PayPal. It is good to see you, Joe. W's for Joe in the chat. Hi, Dean. Hi, Joe. And all right, let's go to bring up our first guest of the night. And I saw someone say, I'm wearing the shirt. I am wearing the shirt. Hey, are you voting for Trump?
Hello?
Okay, all right, we're going to move on to our next guest here. Everyone, just give us a minute for the 1.3 thousand people hanging out with us in here today. Make sure that we are double tapping away on that phone screen. What's going on? Are you voting for Trump? All right, well, we always have an issue finding our first guest of the night, so everyone just do be patient. Give us a minute. Honestly, spam MAGA in the chat if you want to come up. I'll probably invite you. Hey, Elle, are you voting for Trump?
I love you, Dean.
Hey, man, I appreciate you for the love. Based. Appreciate you for coming up, man. We are just looking for people to debate. We're going to go ahead and get our next guest up in here right now. We got Freddie Mac loading in. Drop a MAGA down below if you want to come up. And Tech, thank you for the subscription. Hey, Freddie, are you voting for Trump?
I'm a never Trumper, but can I ask the Trumpers a question, then I'll drop?
I appreciate you for coming up. Freddie, unfortunately, I am just looking to debate people who are voting for Trump. Please, if you're not voting for Trump and you're in the queue, respectfully leave. Hi, are you voting for Trump?
Hi, I'm my first year voting, and yeah, I'm going to be voting for Trump.
Okay, why is that?
Personally, just for finance reasons.
Okay, like you think that you'll be better off if Trump is elected? I think you'll be worse off. Because his tax cuts disproportionately benefit rich people, and he wants to implement tariffs that will cause the price of goods at the grocery store to go up, which disproportionately affect members of the low and middle class as they spend a larger proportion of their income on the bare necessities to live.
Okay, could I ask you a question?
You could ask away.
Are you financially better off now than you were 5 years ago?
Yeah.
You are?
Of course I'm financially better off at 20 years old than 16. Are you?
Yeah. Yes.
Yes, you should be. Come on, let's be real.
Well, true. I was like 14 at the time working fast food, but a couple other questions. What are your opinions on like guns and things like that? Restrictions?
Yeah, I think that we should have common sense gun reform, meaning that I think that we should keep guns out of bad people's hands, right? And that's what Kamala Harris advocates for. But if you're pro 2A, how do you feel about Donald Trump telling Mike Pence in a private meeting that was televised that we need to take the guns first and then give due process second?
I'm not really sure about that.
Mm-hmm. And would you still vote for Trump if he wanted to ban all new Christians from entering into our country?
That's not necessarily what he's trying to do.
I mean, but if he were to want to do that, would you still vote for him? Aubrey, thank you for the Lucy the Llama.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
You're not sure? Okay, well, I mean, I could say no. I would never vote for a candidate that would want to religiously persecute. Would you?
I'm not religious, so I can't really speak on that.
Okay, I'm not religious either, but I could still say that religious persecution's bad. I'm not black, but I could say racism against black people is bad. I'm not a woman, but I could say misogyny is bad. And they actually dropped and ran away. We're going to go ahead and move on to our next guest. For the 2.3 thousand people hanging out with us in here today, make sure that we're double tapping away in that phone screen. Share out this live as well, guys. Let's go and get our next guest up in the box literally right now, y'all. Let's go ahead and see what Catman15 has to say. Do spam MAGA in the chat if you want to come up and debate. Do spam MAGA. How do we... hey, what's up, Catman?
Hello.
A little bit of a crazy mic there. Zoya, I do appreciate you so much for the love. We're going to go ahead and get our next guest up in the box right now, y'all. Let me see a MAGA down below if you want to come up and debate. You lame. Appreciate you for the paper crane. What's going on? Are you voting for Trump?
No.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, I appreciate you for coming up. Please stay out of the queue if you're not voting for Trump. Okay. Just looking for some debates. Hey, what's up? Are you voting for Trump?
Yeah, I think I'm going to vote for Trump, Dean.
Okay. Why so?
Well, I'm trying to look at what Kamala is going to offer me. And here's the two issues I have. Maybe you can talk me through them. As far as her economic plan, she wants to offer $6,000 child tax credit, but it's for new parents. $25,000 home buyer tax credit.
So the $6,000, that's for newborns. And then she also wants to increase the child tax credit with anyone with a kid of 1 to 5 to $3,600, then increase it for any kid from the age of 5 to 17 to $3,000. So this would apply, right, to all parents with children under the age of 18?
So, okay, so that's not just going to reward new parents.
Yeah, so like we've always had like a staggered child tax credit system, but specifically speaking, she's going to increase all of the tiers.
And now the home buyer $25,000 tax credit. My issue with that is for first time home buyers. What's it going to do for me? Nothing.
Yeah. So I mean, if you're not a first time home buyer, that's not going to benefit you.
So I don't.
But I think that we should recognize how that will benefit, right, other people, right, in our country, millions of Americans, quite frankly, alongside the fact that she just wants to cut taxes for 100 million American workers in that low and the middle class. Right, her tax plan is phenomenal. She also knows how she's going to pay for it. Donald Trump, on the other hand, doesn't. How much money do you make?
Me individually, about 110 a year.
Yeah, so like Donald Trump's tax plan wouldn't really benefit you that much. He disproportionately wants to cut taxes for the ultra wealthy, and then he wants to pay for it by by imposing tariffs on all imports, which disproportionately and regressively benefits detriments the low and the middle class the most.
Now, two questions for you. One, why do you think Biden did not repeal the tariffs that he left in place when Trump put them there?
Yeah, so Biden changed the tariffs. He made them way less aggressive. But at the end of the day, I still do disagree with Biden on that point.
Okay. And then also the home buyer tax credit, going back to that for a minute. You know, they raised interest rates as much as they did. One reason was because the housing market was too hot. There was too much buying going on, right? Offering this home buyer tax credit, isn't that just going to encourage a run on housing again? And
so the reason that they raised interest rates is because of inflation, okay? All right, because when we raise interest rates, we decrease consumer spending, and a decrease in consumer spending leads to a decrease in the rate of inflation. And we actually need to stimulate the housing market because we need to be able to build new houses to make the overall market more affordable. Because home prices are too expensive right now. It's hard for people to get their hands on one. All right, so that's the main purpose. Do you mind if I ask you a question?
Sure.
Okay, you said that you make $110,000 per year. That's a little bit more than the average American. But, I would like to ask you, can you name one policy that Donald Trump passed while he was president that benefited the average American more than rich people? Love you. Thank you for the $5 on Venmo for the second Venmo of the day.
Economically, Trump does very little. He offers very little, in my opinion. I think the only reason I'd vote for Trump is over the immigration issue. To me, that's a major concern of mine. I think his foreign policy I tend to agree with more than Kamala's.
Can we talk about immigration real quick?
Sure.
If you want legitimate reform, you should vote for Harris because Donald Trump just offers bigotry, racism, xenophobia, and prejudice. He radicalizes his voter base around literally hating people that aren't white and don't speak English as their first language. Okay, like his rhetoric on the border has been the only thing he's had to offer. Donald Trump actually did torpedo a bipartisan border bill in the House and the Senate 2 years ago. He called the Republicans and told them to shoot it down so the Democrats wouldn't look good by passing a good, effective border bill. Meanwhile, Kamala Harris, she's about actual effective policy and change. She wants to implement provisions to reduce undocumented migration into our country by making our asylum-seeking processes quicker. Right? She has a plan, and she's about action. Donald Trump just has rhetoric, okay, and it's very hateful.
Yeah, but now, if I recall that HR 2, I believe it was called, border policy. It's funny how in election year they finally come up with a solution.
It was drafted in late 2021.
Drafted in 21 by who?
Langford. It was a Trump-endorsed Republican.
Okay. So the Democrats did not get behind it until election year?
No, the Democrats were behind it from the start. It was a bipartisan border bill. Since it began getting drafted in the House, right? That's why it was such a threat to Donald Trump. It's because it was a good bill that had bipartisan support. It was going to destroy his campaign because all he had is hate, prejudice, and close the border, deport them all, right? And if they passed that bill, well, the crisis would have been ended in 2023. So, of course, he didn't let that one slide.
Well, now, how much pork barrel was in that bill? How much was piggybacked on it?
Yeah, about $100 billion to Ukraine, Gaza, Israel, and other places. However, when the bill failed because Donald Trump told them to shoot it down, they revised it, wrote out Langford's border provisions, and then passed the quote-unquote pork.
Did they really? Okay. Okay. I'm going to do some reading up on that because I wasn't aware of that. I appreciate your time, Dean.
Yeah, I appreciate you for being respectful, man. Have a good one. For the 4.1 thousand people hanging out with us in here today, make sure that we're double tapping away on that phone screen. If you want to support me, my Venmo as well as my PayPal are in my bio, but do double tap, guys. And if you are in the queue, make sure that you're voting for Trump. Hi, are you voting for Trump?
Dean, I love you.
I appreciate you for coming up. Let's go and get our next guest up in the box right now, y'all. Everyone, just give us a minute. We got Alexis and loading in the queue, y'all. What's going on? Hey, what's up, Alexis? Are you voting for Trump? Okay, Alexis just automatically dropped. Alexis, hi, welcome back. Are you voting for Trump? Alexis is not here, quite frankly. Oh, bless me. Hey, what's up, man? Are you voting for Trump, Leo? Leo just automatically dropped. And now he's back again.
Hello?
Hi, are you voting for Trump?
I'm not, but I had a question. I was wondering, because I'm
Appreciate you for coming up. Guys, please just respect my boundaries here. I am just looking to debate people that are voting for Trump. Let me see a MAGA down below in the chat if you're voting for Trump, because honestly, I like to pull from the chat more than from the cube. Hey, Cassie, are you voting for Trump?
No, I am not. I'm voting for Kamala this election.
Thank you for coming up, Cassie. I'm just looking for people to debate. Please, guys, please, just respect what I say. Only come up if you're voting for Trump. All right, let's see. We got our next guest loading in right now. Hey, Crystal, I know you're voting for Trump. I got a question for you.
Yeah, what's up?
Why do you care about someone that doesn't care about you? Trump is sexist. He does not care about women, or he wouldn't have raped one. He wouldn't have boasted about grabbing women by the P word without asking first, and he definitely wouldn't have sexualized a little girl or boasted about walking into the changing rooms of half-naked teenage girls.
I don't think any of that's true. I mean, I'm assuming, obviously, you're voting for Kamala. That's why you just said all of that unnecessary stuff about Trump. A lot of the Democrats believe the media lies about Trump, and Trump actually is looking out for the American people. And
Media lies.
What?
Why do you just call it media lies? Okay, listen, I have a problem. I sit here every damn day. I do 6 hours of debates. When I get done with my debates, I automatically go into like 2 or 3 hours of research, okay? I invest my time and my intellectual ability into learning more about our country and about the world as a whole. But then I come on here and I debate these Trump supporters after my countless hours of research, and then you just say it's a lie. You don't offer any type of intellectual response. You don't ask me to provide you my evidence. You are very lazy in the sense that you just call it a lie. We have audio clips of Trump hitting on the 10-year-old girl. We have audio clips of Trump going on SiriusXM saying that he walked into the changing rooms of the teenage girls. He boasted about it to Howard Stern. We have court documents and a jury conviction saying that Donald Trump is a rapist. These things are true, man.
And then, okay, but what about Biden and his creepy stuff to little girls?
Who am I voting for?
Did you vote for Biden?
I was 16, but I'd vote for Biden today if he was running. But the overwhelming point here is I could like entertain that. I could give you a response, but Biden's not running. Kamala
I
Harris
do have a
is.
question though. Honestly,
Thank you for the $1 on Venmo. Okay.
So, do you like how the country has been ran the last 4 years?
Jacqueline, thank you so much for the $5 on Venmo. You're absolutely phenomenal. Yeah, I do. I think that the Biden-Harris administration has been one of the best administrations in American history. They passed good policy that's benefited the American people and given us probably the best response from COVID that we could have ever have expected. But you never really answered my first question about why you care about someone that doesn't care about you, but I guess that's fine.
Because he does care about the American people.
If he cared about the American people, then why did he try to coup the country and rig the outcome of the 2020 election? Sheila, I appreciate you for the galaxy.
He what? Sorry, my phone just broke up.
In 2020, he sent fake votes to Congress from states that he lost, saying that he won, trying to steal the election from Biden. He's admitted to it to the Supreme Court.
Well, I think everyone in this chat knows that the Democrats always rig the election. So
that's another conspiracy theory, though. Like that's another Facebook post, Crystal. You know that's not true, right?
It is true.
Okay, so can you name one court that ruled that the 2020 election was stolen from Trump? Because I can name 63 courts handpicked by Trump, including 17 courts with judges that he appointed, that ruled it wasn't.
All right, whatever you say.
It's not whatever I
feel
say.
like there's
It's
just-
whatever's true, man.
Well, there's just no arguing with Democrats because they don't want to listen to anything or.
Yeah, Crystal, I am listening to you, but the thing is I have facts. You have like a Facebook post.
Facebook page. Okay.
Yeah, okay. Like, how about this? I'll entertain your argument. Why do you think that the 2020 election was stolen from Trump? Can you give me sufficient evidence of widespread voter fraud to rig and overturn the results of the election?
Well, honestly,
She left. Okay. Yeah, guys. Remember, it's the Democrats who don't want to hear what you have to say. It's the Democrats that think with their that don't think with logic. It's the Democrats, guys. Hey, Frank, are you voting for Trump?
No.
Hey,
I'm voting for.
W for you. W for you. Guys, if you're in the queue, make sure that you're voting for Trump. We're going to go to get our next guest, Corey, up in the box, y'all. For the 8.5 thousand people hanging out with us in here today, make sure that we're double tapping. And what's up, man? Are you voting for Trump?
Yes, but I came on here to ask for help with something. The Marcellus Williams execution. You have a big platform. He has 4.5 hours left. I don't know if you read on that. I don't come on here to argue beliefs. Register to vote, everybody, based off.
Corey, I appreciate you for coming up. And Katie, thank you so much for the flower overflow. I appreciate you for the love, Katie. Yeah, man, that's sad. I was talking about that on my live yesterday. Please, everyone, look into that scheduled. Look into that, guys. Call their governor. Do whatever you can. That shit is so sad, man. It is gross. It is racism. Hey, Benny, are you voting for Trump?
Yes, I am.
Okay, are you driving?
No, I'm not.
Okay. Why are you voting for Trump?
I'm voting for Trump because I weighed all the pros and cons between them, and I mean they have so many cons. So, but I just think I'm just going purely with what I believe.
Okay, let's talk about it, Benny. You said that you weighed all the cons and pros. So here's a couple cons of Donald Trump. He's been held civilly liable for raping a woman. He called for religious persecution, a total and complete shutdown of all Muslims coming into our country. He sexualized little girls, right? And he's boasted about walking into the changing rooms of half-naked teenage girls. So you said that you weighed the pros and cons.
Yeah.
What cons of Kamala Harris's outweighs these cons of Trump's?
Okay, so basically, you kind of to lead a nation, right? Many people, or many leaders have also done this in the past. I mean, look at all of the presidents in our times. I'm pretty sure they were all sexist, misogynistic, and racists. So, but they've led a country, and I kind of
Can you name one other president that was held liable for raping a woman?
And I also there's stuff that gets taken out of context in the media, so I don't focus on the social stuff.
Elena, thank you for the $25 on PayPal. Let's get some W's in the chat for Elena right now. Thank you so much for the $25 on PayPal. That is absolutely so kind of you. Thank you so much for the love, Elena. I've 3 points here. The first point is you're wrong. No, I can't think of any other president that's been held liable for raping a woman. The second point here is, well, even if they were all sexist, misogynist, racist, that doesn't justify you voting for another one, especially when the sexist, misogynist, racist is running against a non-sexist, non-misogynist, non-racist like Kamala
She
Harris.
is sexist and misogynistic too.
Okay, how so? Could you give me an example?
Basically, remember when she went into the deli and she was she wanted, she was basically wanting somebody to serve her who's a woman.
Okay, Benny. Wow. So you have two rocks in your skull, click-clacking around, not a thought.
What you mean? I'm basing everything.
Jesus
I'm basing.
Christ, man. We're gonna move on to our next guest. Well, maybe the waitress was a woman. Maybe the person serving at the deli was a woman. Wow, that's insane.
Yo.
Hi, Joey. How old are you?
19.
19. What year are you born in?
Sorry, I'm cold right now. I was born in 2005.
Okay. Awesome. So why are you voting for Trump?
Because I want to be able to afford a home next coming years. I think the economy was better under Trump.
Okay. Real quick, how many consonants are there?
57.
The 57? Okay, Joey.
7.
Thanks for coming up. We're going to move on to our next guest here. Let's go to see what Mason has to say. If you're in the queue, make sure that you're voting for Trump. If you do want to support me, my Venmo as well as my PayPal are in my bio, y'all. I get 100% of the proceeds on these platforms. What's up? Are you voting for Trump?
Yes.
Oh, you've already been up here. If you hop in again, I'm going to block you. your Frank Gallagher impression sucks. We're gonna move on to Bryson. Yo, Jidion, thank you for the galaxy. I appreciate you for that, Jidion. And Marlena with the $30 on Venmo. Let's get at least three. Oh wait, that's actually Jidion. Wait, what? Wait, this is the real Jidion. Hello, Jidion.
What's up, gang?
What's going on, man? How are you?
I'm doing good, bro. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. Are you voting for Trump, Jidion?
Who do you think I'm voting for?
Man, Jidion, listen, I've watched your videos. I think that you can be a decent guy. Any decent guy would be voting for Harris. Let's be real.
Okay. Well, I'm going to be honest, man. Like, I think there's decent people voting for Trump, and I think there's decent people voting for Harris. So, I'm not going to, be on no moral high ground and say, oh, man, if you're voting for Harris, you're, a good person. If you're voting for Trump, you're a good person. But I want to guess. So who do you think? Who do you think?
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Keep in mind, I've never voted before. This is my first time voting.
I'm gonna read you down. I'm gonna read you down here, Jidion. So
Okay.
you became a Christian, and you became so dedicated to your faith and your religion that you stopped making YouTube videos, and then you even started posting on your social media accounts about the faith, going over Bible verses, right, sharing the gospel with others, and you seem to be doing so in a good faith manner. Like, you hold to Christianity because you want to be a better person yourself, right?
Exactly.
Not because you want to use it to like marginalize or belittle others. And I honestly think in this election that a good Christian would probably be voting for Harris.
This election, I feel like LeBron with the decision.
Yeah.
This election, this is my first time I'm about to register to vote. I will be voting for Kamala Harris. I can't even count.
Jidion? No way! Bro!
I'm gonna be voting for Harris, man.
Jidion, bro, that is huge. Holy shit. Okay, I just gained so much respect for you, bro. I've been watching your videos for a mean minute, and the fact that you're voting for Harris is absolutely phenomenal, bro. I mean, if you don't want to get political, too political, because I understand that.
No, I want to because there's this one particular dude.
Oh, you went on mute.
I wasn't going to vote. I wasn't really thinking about it. But then I was kind of in the same boat of everybody else. I was like, dang, she don't have no plans. She's not saying nothing. But then after they started releasing their plans and everything, and then I started, seeing it broken down, and I started seeing how her tax plans, because I'm not gonna lie, not to be cocky or anything, but I'm in the top 1%. So, but seeing her tax plans and how I believe it's a 25K, is it a tax break or is it a down payment on new home buyers?
Yeah, it's a $25,000 subsidy for first-time home buyers. Yeah,
I saw that and I was like, man, that's amazing. And then it's if I'm not mistaken, it's like a 6K tax break for first time or for couples that have children, right?
Yeah, so it's $6,000 is a child tax credit for everyone with a newborn, $3,600 for anyone with a kid of 1 to 5, and $3,000 from 5 to 17, right? Yeah, those are social programs that benefit, right, the average American, that uplift the low and the middle class. And Jidion, right?
And then I was seeing that I was reading through it, but I don't know if I remember correctly, but I was seeing that I think her tax plan for the average American is gonna be it's gonna be 1.5%. Am I correct?
1.5%. I think that she's raising the marginal tax rates on everyone making over $400,000 a year by 1.5 to 4%.
No, I'm not talking about over 400,000. I'm talking about under.
Oh, yeah. I don't so I think that she's actually just going to keep Trump's tax cuts for the middle class. But then she's just going to make the tax policy as a whole center around the low and the middle class. Because under Trump's code, right, like he did cut taxes for the average American, but the policy as a whole, he made it very centered and focused around like the rich people.
Yeah, I don't know. Like from just what I've seen, I feel like her tax plans, I feel like her policies would just genuinely help, the middle to lower class. And then seeing like the tariffs on, China and other countries, that's just going to end up raising the prices of essential goods for average Americans. And, like I said, like, me personally, it doesn't make me a bit of difference, but, to people who it does, you know what I mean? Like, not everybody's in the position that I'm in, you know what I mean? And, if I can do more with my tax money, like Tim Waltz being able to pay for kids lunches, and, if that could be a thing where hopefully eventually like all of America kids could have free lunch, you know what I mean? Because, my dad, he made my lunch every morning, but, I knew kids that sometimes like I had to give them my lunch, part of my lunch for them to eat because sometimes I would be the only thing that they ate. But I'm genuinely am excited. And yeah. And, as a seeing you on my For You page and seeing other people and then actually doing the research myself, and just seeing policies and stuff, like I feel confident. So yeah, I'm voting for Harris this year.
God damn, bro, Jidion, this is why you're the GOAT, man. This is why you're the GOAT. I'm like internally freaking out a little bit because, like I said, I've been watching you for ages, and yeah, I appreciate.
Oh, I appreciate you, bro. Thank you.
Yeah, dude, bro, I went way back on your shit. And that's great to hear, right? That you are like a true Christian. Like, dude, okay, me personally, right? I'm not a Christian. However, right, I have so much respect for a believer in any faith that actually wants to use it as a symbol of peace, love, unity to progress society in a positive direction, compared to like harming others. And the fact that you are dedicated to that motherfucking word, bro, and that you are going to take the lessons that, Jesus, that the gospel teaches you, and you're going to apply it in real life, fighting for the average American, is awesome. And then one other thing, actually, man, if you ever are filming one of those, exposing a predator episodes, and you want someone to make them look really stupid and to literally debate them on why they're a predator, you should hit me up.
Oh, like if I catch a predator.
I know that you do those videos.
What do you mean
about exposing predators? I've seen those videos. If you should hit me up, because I've seen a lot of those videos, and something that I've always wanted to do is literally sit there and embarrass the fuck out of themselves by trying to get them to explain why they're attracted to minors, and just to get them to look like an absolute dumbass, like an idiot.
Oh man, bro, they make we caught a dude. When was it? 2 days ago. We caught a dude 2 days ago. Bro, he told us the reason why he came to come meet a 14-year-old girl was because his friend apparently was messing with a mom and her 16-year-old daughter. And he said that he wanted to figure out the psychology of what would make someone want to do that. So that's why when he started talking to the 14-year-old, he said that he just wanted to figure out the psychology of why someone would want to do that. And then I don't know how I got into it, but Brody, he said I have over 380 bodies in a 4-year time period. So it's always a crazy one. I actually got some questions, man. Like, what's some other policies like that Kamala has that I might not know about?
Sure, dude, let's go over it. So she has a couple really good proposed policy when it comes to healthcare. So she wants to expand the Affordable Care Act by capping the cost that any American could pay out of pocket for a prescription drug to $2,000 a year. So, I mean, we have Americans all around the country that are going out of pocket tens of thousands of dollars a month because their insurance won't cover what they need to survive. So she wants to fix that by capping the amount that they could pay out of pocket to $2,000 a year. And then another really good one is she wants to restrict the reach and ability that big corporations have to buy single family homes. A big reason why homes cost so much right now is because these massive companies like BlackRock are stepping in here, buying up all the single family homes, turning around and renting them, right? And she wants to mitigate that by limiting their ability to do.
I'm not gonna even lie, you are spot on about that, because before I bought my house, and I was looking for houses to rent. A majority of the houses I went to go like talk to them, they were companies. It wasn't like, you know, a homeowner with a real estate agent. It was just straight up companies. And it was actually kind of crazy when I first saw that. And, you know, like my parents, they were able to buy a house when, like, you know, it was more affordable and everything. But, like, you know, they're older now and like they could never dream about getting a new house.
Oh, he's getting a call. Oh, you are on mute. I could see you. I could see that you're talking, but you're on mute. Here. Oh, so if you want to get off of mute. Oh, he's figuring it out. Everyone give it a second. Give it a second, chat. By the way, okay, I could see you again, meaning that you're on the app. Click on your profile picture, then click the icon of the mic. No, Jidion. Come back. Oh! Oh, man. Rats. Jidion dipped. All right, for the 11.6 thousand people in here, I guess we're going to move on to our next guest. Jidion dipped. I have a feeling that he got a phone call and just didn't really know how to work the app. I mean, hopefully he pops back up in here. We're going to move on to our next guest. But Jessica, thank you so much for the $40 on PayPal. And Brittany, thank you for the $20 on PayPal as well. Let's get some massive W's in the chat for Brittany and Jessica. Y'all are absolutely phenomenal. Thank you so much for the love, Brittany and Jessica. W's for Brittany and Jessica in the chat. Thank you for the $40 and the $20. Then also, Jidion, man, if you're watching the video and you want to come back up, sorry, if you're watching the live and you want to come back up because you got kicked out, just send like a couple roses and I will see you up here and I'll have the ability to literally invite you back to the live. What's up, Tyler? Are you voting for Trump? And Rich, thank you for the galaxy.
Yeah, man, I'm voting for Trump. No, I'm not like a huge supporter of Trump's, but I just feel like he's probably the best option.
Okay, yeah, so why are you voting for Trump? And Jidion is back. Phenomenal. Let me click on him. One second, Tyler. I'm gonna get Jidion back up on here. All right, Jidion. I'm exiting people out of the queue. Hop in the here, Jidion. Fuck. Wait. Actually, Jidion, what you could do is you could show up as a friend. So you could unfollow me right after this. But if you follow me back, you'll pop up to the top of the queue because it'll show that you're mutual, and then you could literally unfollow me right after. That's a good way to do it. Awesome. There you are. Says friend. Phenomenal. All right. Feel free to unfollow me if you want. Welcome back up,
man. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you again.
Yeah, nah. I have a thing where like it's like after an hour, it tells me like to get off the apps. That had popped up, and I think it like muted it.
Yeah, no, you're good now. Dude, honestly, that's smart. I need to do that. I'm so fucking brain rotted. I'll be scrolling till 2 a.m.
Nah, yeah, man, bro. I'd be so busy. But nah, man. But like I was saying, like, you know, my parents, you know, they were able to buy a house, like, you know, for like, you know, just way more affordable because I think they bought their house or they put their mortgage down for their house back in 2002. And they didn't end up finish paying it off until 2018. But like, you know, it was an old house from like the 1960s and stuff. And then just yesterday, I actually closed on a new house for them. So I just bought them a new house and everything. And so, you know, they're all set up and everything. But it's like, you know, it just sucks because like, you know, my dad's 70 and it takes like, you know, the average American until they're 70 to be able to finally pay off their house. And it's like, you know, if I wasn't able to take care of them and everything, like, you know, they'd still be working and they're old. Yeah. And, you know, that makes me sad, especially seeing like old people like work at like Walmarts and stuff like that.
Yeah, and then like just about that specifically. Also, Jessica, thank you for the $20 on PayPal. And like these big corporations will like applaud it. Like for instance, on American Airlines, they have like a seniority program where the longer you work there, like the more like seniority you have, and then they'll do like these annual parties for the like longest worker that they have, and they'll celebrate these like 90-year-olds working as flight attendants. But about the house thing, yeah, like you're saying that your parents are like 70 and they're still paying it off. You know, when they probably, you know, like, I don't know, like 40 years ago when they were 30, the average cost of a home was maybe like $100,000, if not less. Okay. And like, what is it now? Over $400,000? Like the Americans today are absolutely fucking cooked when it comes to setting up success in the long term because of how expensive things are right now. And they're only going to get more expensive. The college degrees, the housing market, the bare necessities to live, it's only going to make life harder. And that's why I definitely support, you know, like tax policy or just policy in general that benefits the average American, because we don't want people working until they die. You know, we want to be able to have like a feasible age of retirement where we could all live in a society and it's not just an absolute pain in the ass to survive.
What, in your opinion, I guess, whose policies are you liking more? Are you liking, because in my personal opinion, like compared to what Biden did, I feel like, you know, at least Kamala's policies, I feel like are kind of better than Biden's.
Yeah, I actually agree with you. I think that like Biden had good policy, but he wasn't as focused as he could have been on making the life of the average American better, because he passed a lot of very specific policy, like the PACT Act. He made veterans' lives better, the Chips and Science Act, investing into American manufacturing, creating more jobs, but no super broad policy that will apply to like hundreds of millions of people. And that's what Kamala Harris is going to achieve with her tax policy. You know, the only thing that Biden ever even announced that he wanted to do was like a wealth tax, right? But not what Kamala Harris wants to do with making 100 million people's lives easier.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I had tweeted out how I was voted for, because, like, you know, my audience, I don't know what I would say my audience is. I would say it's maybe like 60-40, probably 60 being, you know, more right-leaning and stuff, because it's like kids in high school and everything. And then, you know, most kids in high school, they're probably, you know, like saying that they're like, oh, vote for Trump, even though they can't vote and everything. And, but it's just like, I just have to be real, because like, I kind of like really started listening to what like Trump was saying and kind of like what people like that support him were saying. And in my personal opinion, like I feel like kind of like how the left treated Trump in 2016 is how Trump people are treating Harris now in 2024, if that makes sense, where they say more like hot button things like, oh, she's going to destroy America. Oh, she's going to, you know, America's going to be looked at as a joke if she's elected. Oh, this, oh, that, you know, and it's not like actual policy things. It's not like looking at her actual policies. It's not criticizing her policies. It's more hot button stuff. Because whenever I said that I want to vote for her, a lot of people in my stuff, it was just more hot button issues. Like someone was just like, oh, so you agree with Tim Walz's LGBTQ stance? And I replied under it, I was like, what does Tim Walz's LGBTQ stance have to do with the average American buying a house and paying their bills? You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, dude, you're absolutely spot on. And that's what makes the decision in this election obvious. So the right, instead of saying, okay, well, this is Kamala Harris's proposed policy, this is why Donald Trump's is better, or this is why her policy will not be good for you, they just say that she is a fascist that's going to cause World War III, and if you vote for her, we are going to become a communist society. Like, you know, there's no real attack on what she wants to do for America and why it's not good. There's just conspiratorial hearsay and lies. And that's another reason why we should vote for Harris. We could consider her policy, we could look at it and say that it's good for America, but then we could also look at the other side of the aisle and say, well, maybe this guy's bad for America. And that's a whole other conversation on its own.
And it's like, you know, I feel like he's had his time, you know what I mean? I feel like it's time to get new breath in. That's my personal opinion. I want to ask, have you ever converted someone that said they were voting for Trump? Have you, like, from these lives, have you made them be like, you know what, actually, I might vote for Harris?
Yeah, no, I have. It's been great. I'd say that like most of the people that come up here and debate me are like insane. Like, you know, like I feel like that doesn't speak for all Trump supporters, but there's a certain type of personality that's required to request to join a live and defend your position in front of 10,000 people when you may not know that much. But I'd say that most of the people that have converted to doing what's right, voting for Harris in this election, are people that are listening. I'd say I probably get like a handful of DMs every single day of people being like, when I first clicked into your stream, you really pissed me off because, you know, you're talking about how evil and bad Trump is. But then as I listen to you more, I now understand what you say, and I'm actually voting for Harris now. I get a handful of those a day, and I think that really speaks, you know, for the idea that, you know, maybe society has some hope. You know, maybe it's okay for us to be optimistic. I'd say that, you know, what we need to do is educate. You know, education is all we need to make the you know, adequate determination in this election who we should be voting for, and that's the main purpose of the live.
No, I feel that, and I'm not gonna lie, man. Like, I've been telling my friends, I personally think that I think she's gonna win by a landslide. Like, I don't think it's gonna be close. What do you think,
dude? Okay, I actually think it will be close, and that's the sad part. Isn't it? Like, like when we look at polling, like it's favoring Kamala Harris by a couple points, but all things considered, there's still a lot of support for Donald Trump. But if you want to know the reason why I think that is, it's because of COVID. Because it's so easy to say our life was better under Trump. We should vote for him again to make it better for a second time, without understanding the nuances of, well, maybe your life is worse now, and maybe the inflation that we see now exists because of COVID. And more like political nuances about how his policy actually wasn't that good, and he didn't make the economy better through policy. And that is the conversation that we need to be having, and that is probably what's going to keep the election close. I feel like a lot of people are willing to ignore even investigating Kamala Harris's policy because of the inflation that we've seen over the course of the last 4 years. And they're also more willing to ignore the flaws in Donald Trump's policy or character because they might have had more money in their bank account 4 years ago.
Yeah, true. No, I think that's the main thing I see, and then also people be like, she's been in office for 3.5 years. So like, why hasn't she fixed it? Even though like, cause I was kind of like that too, but then come to find out like the vice president really doesn't have like any say so. And like, it's kind of like they have to just go along with what, the president wants to do because they're their running mate, it's kind of like their sidekick. It's like Robin can't decide what Batman should do on a mission.
Yeah, for real. Like, Robin just has to follow Batman, and if Robin doesn't follow Batman, well, then, Batman kicks Robin out of the Batcave. Like, type shit. No, I absolutely, dude. And that's, like, why, like, I'm, like, pretty okay with, like, people that tell me they're voting for Trump because life was better 4 years ago. It's because that's just, like, the intuitive response. Like, a year ago, I couldn't tell you a policy he passed, and I couldn't tell you a policy Biden passed. Because it's, like, getting educated on politics takes a lot of time, and you don't really reap a lot of benefit because at the end of the day, you're only one of like over 300 million people. You're not going to sway the outcome of the election. So you have no real incentive to educate yourself because that burden of who our next president is not really placed on you. It's placed on the majority. So like, I get that perspective. And then, yeah, even about being VP, like surprisingly, her and Biden passed a lot of good policy, but she definitely had to like follow Biden's plan. And like we could really like see that now that she's announced her own candidacy is how much she's branched out from Biden's plan. Now that she's in control, now that she's Batman, we see what she wants, not just what Biden wants.
Yeah, I agree. But man, I don't want to hold it up, bro. I just want to hear some new things. Like I've been enjoying, like I've never been really into politics before, but like actually learning about it. And now that I've been working with like local police stations with catching, predators and stuff, it's like really realizing like how much of an impact your local sheriff has, knowing the impact that your DA has, your judge have. It's like, it really like goes to show like, man, like people don't realize like, when people say, oh man, under Biden, they're, what's the word? They're lax on crime. They don't care about crime. But it's like, when it comes to that stuff, it's like, it's really about your sheriff, because if I go to one county and I give them all the evidence of a predator trying to meet an underage girl, they'll be like, you know what? No, we're not going to arrest them. But then if I go to another county and give them all the evidence, they'll be like, oh, and then, you'll get multiple arrests. And I've realized like, it's about the sheriff, it's about the DA, it's about the judge in the area. It's all about that. So, all I would say is to all the first time voters, I'm a first time voter too. Make sure that you guys not only just vote for the president, make sure you guys, because I think it's like around the same time, your guys' local sheriff is running. Look at what your sheriff is proposing. Look at what your DAs are proposing. Look at what your judges are proposing. And because that's the stuff that's really going to make an impact, because that's your community, that's going to determine whether or not criminals are going to stay in jail or they're going to be able to roam around and everything. So, don't just look at the big grand thing of the presidency. The small thing is what also really matters. But Mr. Dean, man, you're goated, bro. Hope you have a great rest of your live, man. I'm gonna be tuning in to hear some of the debates, and you go crazy, big dog.
Bro, hell yeah. I appreciate you for popping up, Jidion. It's been a pleasure to meet you, and thank you for returning to YouTube.
Appreciate you, big dog. Peace out, dude.
Hey, peace, bro. All right, y'all. We're going to move on to our next guest. Let's get some W's for Jidion down below. Dude, I've been watching Jidion since high school. Dude, oh, his videos are so funny. Well, like when he used to do like videos where he'd go out and like troll people, just fuck around. They're hilarious. And like now, they're like actually like really beneficial to society. Catching predators. That's like my favorite thing ever that has like started to get really like popular and blow up on YouTube is people like catching like pedophiles. Because it gives creators incentivization to create those videos because of how well they do on YouTube. And then at the same time, well, it stigmatizes pedophiles. Okay. All right. And it gives more incentivization towards local PDs and any like random people on the internet to go about them and fucking catch them. Hey, Daniel, are you voting for Trump?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Why so, man?
I was supporting RFK and then he endorsed Trump. So that was the candidate I wanted. So then I moved to the person he endorsed.
Yeah, sure. I have a question. So do you think it's like acceptable for someone to vote for Kamala Harris just because Taylor Swift endorsed them?
Not sure because Taylor Swift wasn't running for president, so it wasn't something that a person that they would be voting for.
Yeah, okay. Well, I think like the overwhelming point is I don't really like the idea of like this one guy that I like told me that this other guy's pretty good. Therefore, I'm just going to blindly accept that he's pretty good and vote for him come the election. And Purdy, thank you so much for the 30 gifted subs. Let's get some W's in the chat for Purdy literally right now. I really appreciate you. Massive W's for Purdy down below. And then like a second point here is RFK actually reached out to Kamala Harris's campaign before he reached out to Trump's campaign. And the only reason, right, we didn't see an RFK endorsement for Harris is because they literally didn't respond to him. I'd like to ask you a question, though. Can you name one policy that Trump passed during his first term that benefited the average American more than the top 1%?
Well, his tax cut in 2017 did benefit the average American. Even though it did benefit the top 1%, you're still benefiting the average American when it was implemented in 2018.
Purdy, thank you for another 20 gifted subs. Holy shit. Let's get some massive W's in the chat for Purdy for a 40 gifted subs. That is insane. Thank you so much for the love, Purdy. W's down below. Thank you so much, Purdy. So his tax cuts in 2017 disproportionately favored rich people. 83% of the cuts in the bill went to that top 1%, and it cost $1.9 trillion. I'd actually like to ask you a question. Would you
doesn't it still didn't it still benefit the middle class? Even though it does benefit the wealthier as well, it still benefited the middle class in some ways. Isn't that correct?
Lily, thank you for the $15 on PayPal. I appreciate you for the love. W's for Lily in the chat. Yeah, but my question was if you could name a policy that benefited the average American more than rich people. Let me ask you a question. Would you support the government spending $1.6 trillion on like a universal basic income for all homeless people to keep them off the streets?
Would I support that?
Yeah.
Depends. I mean, it sounds like a good policy.
Okay,
just
but like,
hearing it.
So like $1.6 trillion to benefit homeless people, and that's just going to be thrown onto the economy as debt with no real plan how to pay for it. Would you support that?
So it's helping homeless people, but there's no real plan behind it.
Yeah, no plan to pay for that. It's just debt.
I mean, I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know if I would support it, but I wouldn't outright deny it without hearing like more about it or understanding the policy a little bit more in depth.
Okay. So like seemingly you want to support this, right? So Trump's tax cuts actually spent $1.6 trillion on tax cuts for people making over $400,000 a year, and he gave no real plan how to pay for it. He wants to reinstitute these tax cuts, but add a couple of things on. For another 10 years, they're estimated to cost $4 trillion. He's given us no plan for how he intends to pay for that. Meanwhile, Kamala Harris's tax cuts are built for the low and the middle class. They're built for the 100 million American workers that need it the most. They're estimated to cost $2.4 trillion, and she has a plan for exactly how she's going to pay for that. So her tax cuts don't increase the deficit by a penny over 10 years, okay? So straight off the bat, if you're voting on the basis of economic policy, you should vote for the woman that wants to serve to the average American that doesn't want to just recklessly spend government money, in comparison to Trump, the man that wants to serve to other rich men through reckless government spending.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
because obviously you know all about like the policies of Kamala. What are the policies that Trump that you actually read that you can say from a non-biased position that you actually agree with that actually might benefit the country? So there's no way that you disagree with every single thing that he has implemented or has in favor of implementing.
So during his first term, I liked the Right to Try Act, but it was essentially inconsequential in the grand scheme of things. I also like Operation Warp Speed, but I still feel like if Biden and Harris were in his positions during COVID, they would have done better because they wouldn't have stigmatized the use of the vaccine. So, I mean, we could appreciate some of his policies, but all around, man, I'm not going to lie. Like, Donald Trump is evil. I mean, like, you could say I have Trump derangement syndrome, but we have, like, legitimate reason to believe this. Like, let me ask you a question. Would you ever vote for someone that's been held civilly liable for violently sexually abusing or raping a woman? And Purdy, thank you for the here we go. Thank you for the two here we goes.
When you say civilly liable, does that mean the person was convicted or they went in front of a jury of 9 people and then those 9 people just decided he was guilty based on either hearsay without lack of evidence, or what is your reasoning for?
Yeah, so he was held liable by an anonymous jury of 9 of his peers in a civil court of law after 2 years of deliberation, and he was found guilty via the evidence submitted by his victim, E. Jean Carroll. So would you ever vote for someone that's been held civilly liable for raping a woman?
So if he was held civilly liable, why wasn't he convicted?
Well, in a criminal court. So he wasn't convicted in a criminal court because some states have very shitty law, right? And they have statute of limitations on rape. So the statute of limitations had passed, so she couldn't bring it to the criminal court. But with all due respect, man, you are still not answering my question. My question was, would you ever vote for someone held liable for raping a woman? And Joe, thank you for the $40 on PayPal. Let's get some massive W's in the comment section for Joe. I really appreciate you for the $40, man. Let's get at least 500 W's in that comment section right now. I really appreciate your love. W's for Joe.
Honestly, if I wouldn't, and I know that obviously the question is to put like if anyone's supporting Trump in a little box to be like, oh, if you support Trump, then you're supporting like you're not supporting someone that was accused of a certain crime, which is a good route to go. I understand the route completely. But someone that brings something up that was 20 years ago, and then it's just mainly a lot of hearsay when Trump is in a position of power and maybe they disagree with Trump and they bring it up 20 years later, does it sound like a little bit kind of off to you?
No,
like,
actually not at all. So 62% of women who get raped never report it to the authorities in their lifetime. We shouldn't be blaming one that waited 23 years. I'd say the reason that women wait so long to report rape is because they're socially pressured into not reporting rape because of rape culture, okay? Like, we live in a society that kind of uplifts rapists and kind of condemns victims. And the obvious example of this would be what Trump supporters are doing with him today, right? Like, y'all want to institute a literal rapist into the highest ranking position of power known to mankind, the presidency of our country, right? This tells other men that, well, there's not these social consequences or repercussions that we should have on these actions. Therefore, it's slightly more permissible to rape women. Like, we need to condemn rapists. We need to hold them legally and socially accountable, right? And when you take those social consequences, such as stigmatizing them, limiting their opportunity, and you throw them out of the window by voting them into the presidency, right, that'll just lead towards more harm towards women. But something else that we'd say here is that, no, they didn't just conclude that Donald Trump had raped her on the basis of hearsay. Can you name one piece of evidence that the victim submitted to the court?
I cannot, but I'm sure you can, so educate me.
Yeah, so how do you know that they just convicted him on the basis of hearsay when you don't know the facts of the court case? In fact, you don't even know one piece of evidence she used to prove to the jury he's a rapist. That's
okay, so what's the piece of evidence that was used, that she had stored for 20 years that was used later in court? Can you let me know?
Medical records from the 1990s, consistency between the medical records, testimony from herself and 7 others, alongside a dress that she claimed had Trump's DNA on it from the day that he raped her, and then Trump refused to provide his DNA to be tested against the dress. All right, there's a preponderance of evidence here that was used to suggest to the jury that he was guilty. But, like, would it be justified for me to live in a cardboard box in the middle of Colorado for my whole life and then say it's a bad day out in Australia? Probably not, because I lack necessary information to come to the conclusion on what the fuck the weather is in Australia. But very similarly, when you say Donald Trump's not a rapist, the court that held him liable for this was faulty, and the jury convicted on the basis of hearsay without evidence, while not knowing any facts of the court case, while not knowing any of the evidence, is a little bit crazy.
Okay, well, you said 20 years ago the medical records showed that she was raped, right? what in the medical record proves or shows that? I'm actually like asking because you're just saying the medical record shows it,
therapist
and then
notes.
there was a testimony of 7 people, which is also hearsay.
So we have therapist notes from the 90s. Would you vote for Trump if he was held liable for raping a little girl?
Me, no.
Okay, so how come you would vote for Trump if he was held liable for raping an adult woman but not a little girl?
Well, one, I first said I was voting for RFK and he endorsed Trump. Then he used the example that if Taylor Swift endorses Camilla.
$5 on Venmo. So Daniel, please answer my question.
Can you repeat the question, please?
So why would you vote for Trump if he was held liable for raping an adult woman but not if he was held liable for raping a little girl?
So for the adult woman, one, do I totally believe that's something that happened 20 years ago because she brought it up when he's in a position of power? Do I totally take that as, here, you can call it like, you could laugh at, you could get mad at it, but if someone brings up something 20 years later and you're like, well, 62% of people don't bring it up right away, doesn't really validate that it has to be completely true, right?
Yeah, so the argument that she waited 23 years, therefore she's a liar, doesn't hold water because it is typical for women to wait so long. Like, maybe she wouldn't have waited so long if she knew that she wasn't going to be turned into a monolith of the left, dehumanized by shitty men like you, while also consequentially losing her job because she accused Donald Trump. Like, there's a lot of factors here, and you are actively blaming the victim. And thank you for the $5 on Venmo. And Mike, thank you for the sports car. Yo, let's get some massive W's in the chat for Mike right now. Thank you so much for the sports car, and W's for Ann for the $5 in the chat as well. Thank you so much, Mike and Ann. You know, it's gross. It is.
Before you put words in my mouth, I didn't blame the victim. I'm questioning the victim's validity of her claim. Which is completely valid. That's not blaming the victim for the situation. So you could turn it in a phrase that you want to.
So how come you'll question the victim's validity of her claims, instantiating your claim that Donald Trump's not a rapist, without knowing one piece of evidence that she submitted to the court?
I never said he wasn't, but I never said he was.
Okay,
so
let's
you said that clear first.
Okay, so why would
you? Can I finish?
So I just want to clarify.
Second,
like your issue here isn't like the standard of evidence that they use to determine that he's a rapist in the court, because you said that you wouldn't vote for him if they use that same standard of evidence to conclude that he had raped a little girl. Like why didn't you ask about the evidence in the hypothetical scenario of him being held liable for raping a little girl? No, you didn't. You just said that you wouldn't vote for him in that scenario.
Because that didn't happen.
Well, yeah. Exactly.
You gave me like a hypothetical, and I answered based on the hypothetical you gave me, correct?
Thank you for being honest. You said that you wouldn't vote for him in this scenario because this is something that Trump actually hasn't done yet. And this is my other problem with Trump supporters. You don't have any self-respect because you don't have hard lines. You say that you'll never vote for Trump if he has raped a child, but I swear to God, if it came out tomorrow that he had, you'd shift that red line. I bet 6 months ago, you would have said that you'd never vote for Trump if he was held liable for raping an adult woman either. But turns to find out, right, that it actually has happened, therefore you still will. Like, it's insane. Like, you know, I thought you might say you'd never vote for Trump if he was a religious persecutor, but then as soon as you figured out that he called for a total and complete shutdown of all Muslims coming into our country, well, right back to voting for Trump. You would vote for a religious persecutor, and that red line in the sand continues to shift and move forward, right, with every single accusation claim that's made against him.
Okay, so can you answer me this? When I asked earlier, I said I'm voting for him because RFK endorsed him, and then used the same example as Taylor Swift, who wasn't running for president. So why is that a viable reason to go against my reasoning?
Nix, thank you for the forever rose. Yeah, because I don't think that rather they are running or aren't running for president, that changes something. You shouldn't be voting for a person one because person two says you should. You should be voting for person one because you think that they'll progress America in a positive direction. You should be voting for person one because you think they have good policy. You should be voting for person one because you think they have good character, and they're a virtuous leader. Like, just saying that, oh, you're going to vote for Trump because this other white guy rapist told you to, just screams like intellectual, like you're just being intellectually lazy. Like, what real reasons do you have to vote for Trump? Name one of his policies that you like.
Well, I mentioned the tax cut in 2017, but your obvious rebuttal is that it benefited the wealthier more than it did the middle class, even though it did benefit the middle class. We could talk about the border from the 4 years. Your rebuttal is going to be the daily average is more underneath Trump than it was under Biden, but the total number was more under Biden than it was under Trump, so we know that's true.
Trump supports open borders.
No, so I'm talking about the amount of
Linda, thank you
coming through the border. during the time of Trump was less than Biden.
Yeah,
Your
I
rebuttal,
hear
which
you.
I've heard it numerous times, is you
Well,
say
maybe
the
I could
daily
give you my
average-
rebuttal myself.
Okay, go.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you care about the border, you shouldn't vote for Trump because Trump supports open borders. He torpedoed the bipartisan border bill in the House and the Senate 2 years ago because he didn't want the Democrats to look good, and he preferred the crisis to continue so he can campaign on it to get your vote today.
Didn't that bill not get passed by the Senate due to, I forgot his name, but not to bring this up, but the lady on Jubilee was kind of telling you about it, and that was the first time I was learning about it, and she was saying that the bill didn't even get through the Senate, so technically it wasn't
wrong.
fully on Trump.
So first of all, she was wrong. You could look up the Secure the Border Act of 2023. You'll see that it was on the floor of the House. Second of all, she's referencing another bill called HR 2. Then third of all, what are you saying? So Donald Trump torpedoed this bill, right? He called the Republicans in the House and the Senate, told them to vote against it. Ted Cruz has spoken out against Trump for doing this. Mitch McConnell has spoken out against Trump for doing this. Langford, the Republican that also was Trump endorsed, spoke out about Trump for doing this. And then Trump even said at a rally in Nevada to blame it on him if the bill fails.
Okay, so you think, so your evidence is that, he called all these people and persuaded them to not pass the bill?
Yeah, because they all spoke out about it, and then he himself told everyone to blame it on him if it fails in a rally in Nevada.
So you're telling me these people also didn't support the bill as well? Because if they support it, why not just vote it through?
They say they did support the bill, but obviously when he called the Republicans, they want to be on Trump's good side. They want to have Trump's endorsement in the primary, so they voted against it. I'd say both Congress, right, the Republicans that voted against it because Trump told them to, and then Trump for telling them to, would be responsible for making this bill fail.
Okay. So my question is, when I said through the 4 years that he was president, through the 4 years now that he had less people coming through the border, does that hold any validity to you?
So, yeah, so the reason that there's been more people migrating across the southern border under Biden and Harris compared to Trump was because of the crisis onset by the expiration of Title 42. That's not because of Biden and Harris. It just happened to occur under their presidency. Right? We can't just say because something happens in the country that that the president's to blame. Like, I mean, I could say that there's higher rates of
Well, who
unemployment.
else would you blame?
Okay, so if we can just blame the president for things that happen in the country, can I blame Trump for the 14.8% rate of unemployment in April of 2020, the highest rate of unemployment since the Great Depression?
So he had the highest rate in that 1 month span?
Yeah.
But as an overall through his presidency, he had a lower rate than through the last 4 years, correct?
Yeah, I'm not so sure about that, but could I blame Trump for that rate of unemployment?
That's true.
Okay, so could I blame Trump for that rate of unemployment in April of 2020?
More during Trump than it was during the last 4 years as well, correct?
Okay, so we could talk about the generalized rates of
But
unemployment.
I'm saying, and then, but you're going to say that, because
I could look it up. I could look it up. I don't know what the average
was. Because it
was over
happened
the
during
4
a certain
years.
presidency, you can't blame the president. You have to look at other factors, correct?
I'm saying that external variables can impact what happens in the country. I'm going to ask you my question again because you haven't answered it. You were deflecting. Can I blame Trump? Did Trump cause the record high rate of unemployment in April of 2020 at 14.8%, the highest that we've had since the Great Depression?
No, because of COVID, and then you're going to say, because of external factors. I know.
Okay.
I know the gist.
So external variables can impact things that happen in a country, right?
Yeah, but then the president
specifically
also has,
speaking,
has
so yeah,
control
so
over the
because
country to go through it.
Because
right?
because external variables can impact things that happen in a country. This is why you have to isolate down to policy and executive orders to deem what a president's impact on the state of a country is, right? So specifically speaking, when you make the argument, well, higher numbers under Biden and Harris than under Trump, therefore Biden and Harris are to blame for the border crisis. Well, higher level of unemployment under Trump than Biden and Harris. Therefore, Trump is to blame for the highest rate of unemployment since the Great Depression. We could also say that there's a negative net loss. We could also say that there's a negative net loss in jobs under Trump's presidency. He's one of the only two presidents in American history to do so. Apparently, according to your logic, Trump's to blame. Under Biden and Harris, there's 15 million jobs added back to the economy. According to your logic, Biden and Harris are to blame.
Can you repeat the last three statements?
Under Biden and Harris, there's 15 million jobs added back to the economy. According to your correlation causation logic, Biden and Harris are to blame.
Because there was 15 more million jobs due to them?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it happened under their presidency. So using your logic, they caused that, right?
Yeah, partly.
Okay, so seemingly, then you are already giving me an argument for why we should be voting for Harris.
You can't fully blame them, but they do take a part and blame. It's not black and white, which you want to make it seem to persuade one way or another. It's a lot of gray, right? So you could say
I'd say it's very black. I'd say it's very black and white.
Trump played a factor into not having so many people come through the border, and then you could also blame it on a few other things. But they do have a lot of the control, is what I'm saying. It's not super black and white, which you try to make it seem to kind of divide each side.
Laura, thank you for the $25 on Venmo. I appreciate you for the love. Laura says, thank you for saving democracy. I love you, Laura. Thank you so much for the $25 donation. W for Laura's in the chat. Massive W's for Laura down below, guys. And then also, Trump actually did have a higher average rate of unemployment. His average was 5%. I'm looking at Biden and Harris's. I think it's 4.1. And then second of all, it is actually very black and white. If you're going to make a claim that Donald Trump caused something, you're going to have to explain to me how. I'm just saying that it happened under his presidency is not sufficient. I'd like to ask you a question, though. Would you still vote for Trump if he called for a total and complete shutdown of all Christians entering into the country?
A complete and total shutdown of all Christians coming into the country?
Yeah.
I really don't know. I just think if anyone comes in the country, they should go through a vetting process and a good background check, and it should come legally.
Yeah,
it has nothing to do with what kind of like religion they are.
Okay, then answer my question.
Muslim or anything. So would I call for a ban?
So if Donald Trump called for a total and complete shutdown of all Christians coming into our country, would you still vote for him in November?
Is there like, are they coming in illegally, legally? Like,
all total and complete shutdown. All legal entries of Christians denied.
Would I still vote for him?
Yep.
I want to see why he's doing that before I make
Are you saying that he could have reason to religiously persecute Christians?
Religiously persecute?
Yeah, like saying that no new Christians can come into our country is religious persecution.
So say we have way too many people coming over the border, but then he just picks on Christians, but he's letting other people come through the border, is what you're saying?
Yes, I'm saying that if Donald Trump said that no new Christians can come into our country, rather it's legal migration or even tourism, we will not allow them in. Would you still vote for him?
That would persuade me more to not vote for him.
Okay, I want a clear-cut
answer.
answer.
I'm not gonna base it off one thing. So why am I gonna base my whole vote off this one hypothetical?
So Daniel, I want a very clear-cut answer for him. If he did this, would you still be voting for him in November? Yes or no?
And my honest answer is I really don't know. Because what if this is one bad thing and then the rest of the stuff that he's suggesting is good? Why am I going to base my vote off one singular hypothetical?
You could make that argument.
Is what I'm saying.
You can make that argument. I just need you to give me a straight answer. If you can't, I'm going to move on.
I'm honest on my life, I really don't know. Because there's so many other factors. You just look at one bad thing and then you're using that as a hypothetical.
Okay. So what is
because I know you're going to say he did the Muslim ban.
What has Kamala Harris done that's sufficiently worse than religiously persecuting against all Muslims? And Carol, thank you for the $20 on Venmo. Carol says, "Oh, I wish you could give me 20,000." No, don't worry about it, Carol. I really appreciate you for the love. Let's get some massive W's for Carol in the chat. Thank you so much for the $20. You're phenomenal. So what has Kamala Harris done that's sufficiently worse than like wanting to ban all new Muslims from entering into our country, or like raping a woman, sexualizing little girls, calling all black people lazy, etc.?
What do I think that's been worse?
Yeah, name one thing that she's done that is sufficiently worse than these things that Trump has done.
It's a good question. I can't answer anything. Do you have anything?
No, because
I know your candidate's not like all like high and mighty, so there has to be some things you don't like that.
No, there's nothing that she's done that is sufficiently worse than any of those things, right? And like that, I guess that's why we'd ask the question here. Well, if I could name off like 20, 30, 40 bad things that Trump has done, and there's not one thing that Kamala Harris has done that compares to any of those individual things that Trump has, why would we be voting for Trump?
Well, the one thing, but I know when I say this, everyone in the chat's going to start tagging me in it. I don't appreciate certain things being pushed onto kids. So that's
like what? Mike, thank you for the gold, man.
So I don't like how kids are persuaded or induced to believe that they are something that they are not at a young age before they are adults.
Can you be more specific?
Obviously, so trans kids, I believe that should be something that's waited till they're above 18, and it seems under Kamala or the current presidency that's something that they're fine with pushing.
Kimberly, thank you for the $5 on Venmo.
18 years of age.
Thank you so much for the love, Kimberly. So, like, first of all, I absolutely agree with gender-affirming care for minors. All right, first of all, like, to get gender-affirming care approved, it takes years of talking to doctors, getting multiple of them to write off and give consent And then second of all, they're not like sex change operations. They're going to be hormone treatments that actually are reversible. And like fourth of all, we wouldn't deny any other healthcare to children. Why should we deny this one form? And then fifth of all, although I agree with those things, Kamala Harris is not actively campaigning on those things, right? So I don't understand why this would give you reason to vote for Trump, because she says nowhere on her policy website that she's going to make this more readily available towards the trans youth. I might even be able to say that it's a critique of her that I have. But I mean, like, that's ultimately just like pointless. I think that a lot of people on the right hold prejudice against 0.05% of our population, right? Just because they're different from you, right? And then you use this prejudice to fuel your hatred, which fuels your further radicalization around Trump. Deborah, thank you for the $5 on Venmo. I think a large portion of Trump's voter base is like just hateful, prejudiced bigots, and you're only voting for Trump because of his hateful, prejudiced, bigoted rhetoric.
No, that's not true at all. Why I'm voting for Trump.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, do you think
Just because I disagree with someone's views or morality on something doesn't make me opposite. I'm a bigot just because I disagree with something. So you could use whatever.
What if a white supremacist told me that?
What if a white supremacist told you what?
Just because they disagree with my morality on things, like everyone's equal regardless of how much melanin content they have in their skin, that doesn't make them a bigot. What if a white supremacist made that argument?
I'm not here to call people names of people I don't know. So let me get it straight. So
are white supremacists and neo-Nazis
in this
bigots?
thing, and you're already calling me a bigot because I have a different viewpoint.
Hey Daniel, are white supremacists and neo-Nazis bigots?
I have no idea. I'm not judging other people. I'm not going to go through and just call other people names based on whatever their views are.
Okay, so if someone thinks that black people should
you already called me a bigot and you don't even know who I am.
Gianna, I appreciate you for the $10 on Venmo. W's for Gianna in the chat. Thank you so much for the love on Venmo, Gianna. Thank you for the $10. So yeah, it's true that I know.
Is it true or not that you just called me that without even knowing any of my really kind of morals or values or beliefs, right?
So I have a sufficient understanding of your morality to associate you as being a bigot, but I just want to clarify. So if a white person thinks that black people should still be enslaved, you wouldn't call them a bigot?
What does a bigot mean?
Okay, Daniel. So when we're referencing a bigot, I feel like we could just use this as a general term to refer to people who hold like morally abrasive, like and regressive beliefs, right? That actively perpetuate harm on the people in our country or harm.
That's not the actual definition of bigot.
Well, I don't think that words have an
You
actual...
formed a different definition to align with your viewpoint.
So Daniel, I don't think that words have like an actual objective definition. I think that we use words in the way in which we define them ourselves. Like for instance, if you define a chair as like a platform with a handful of legs that you could sit on, all right, I wouldn't respond to that and be like, that's not the actual definition of the word chair. All right, that's what you understand a chair to be. Right, actual or objective
but you're
definitions of
taking a
terms
word
don't
that has a negative connotation and you're associating with me and putting your own definition behind it, so you could call someone that doesn't agree with you.
Okay, so once again, I don't.
So right now, I could call you a bigot, and then I can make up my definition of what I believe it is.
Hey Daniel, how do you define the term bigot?
I just used your rationale against you. I could just make up my definition of bigot, not use the one that's actually the definition, and be against you. Oh, well, since we're making up definitions, a bigot is someone that doesn't agree with my morals, values, or beliefs. So I guess you're a bigot, right? Because I just used your rationale against you. Yes or no?
So first of all, right, we use terms in the way in which we define them internally. Objective definitions don't exist. Second of all, I define bigot as like someone that would hold morally abrasive and regressive beliefs that actively harm society. Why do you disagree with my definition of bigot?
Why do I disagree with your definition of bigot? Because you get to decide what is decreasing society or what the morals and values or beliefs to determine that word.
But we all do that. But we literally all do that. We all make that internal determination. Like, let me ask you a question. So if you make the internal determination, specifically that a white supremacist that thinks black people should still be enslaved is a bigot because you're determining that that's regressive to society, do you think you'd be justified in calling them a bigot?
Would I be justified in calling them?
Yeah, justified in calling a white man that thinks black people should still be enslaved a bigot. Would you be justified in doing that even though you are personally making the subjective determination that they're regressive and harmful to society?
Yes. But do you think?
Wait. So now,
No,
so
no,
Daniel,
listen.
I just want to clarify.
Yeah,
now I just want to
before
clarify.
you-
So wait, you're saying it's okay for you to make a subjective internal interpretation of who and what can harm society, and you're justified in prescribing the term bigot to them, but it's not okay for me to do it. So you are not just a bigot, but you're also now a hypocrite.
Sorry, I got muted and I was trying to unmute while you were yelling, so I heard partial of that. But my saying is, now I'm gonna take your reasoning. Do you think the person that you called a bigot could just call you a bigot based on their having their own internal beliefs on it, right?
Yeah, but what we'd say here is that I'm justified because I can reason my way into giving evidence for the claim that the beliefs in which you hold are regressive and harmful to society, you cannot. See, that is the symmetry breaker there. Like when we're making these moral, one moment.
What I'm saying.
When we're making these moral
it's
claims,
harmful to their society.
yeah, then I could regress your view either down to a contradiction or an absurdity.
I'll
That's what we
agree.
do.
I'll agree with you that.
So Daniel,
the example you brought. Look, listen. I'll agree with you.
Okay,
that the
I don't
example
like how
you
you're
brought
interrupting
up-
me.
You've interrupted me a few times too, and I stopped and I let you talk.
Okay, so Daniel, first of all, this is my platform. I would be more than willing to let you speak. However, it is the case that you're actively interrupting me. I feel like you're interrupting me because you know what I'm saying is right and you don't want to hear it. So
I was just trying to finish my point, but I'll let you
go
finish.
ahead. Okay, no, honestly, you could go and finish your point out. I'll go ahead and respond to you after.
Okay. I was saying I totally agree with the example that you brought up of the bigot one of like the whites saying that blacks should be enslaved, that they could be all the bigot.
Don't call black people like black with an S at the end. That term has been historically used to dehumanize them.
So what didn't you just use that same word to give me the example? So what did you use?
I said black people.
Yeah, isn't that what I just said?
No, you said black with an S at the end.
Black what?
Black with an S at the end.
I said black people.
Okay, you didn't.
Okay. Anyways, I added an S and now suddenly it's harmful.
Yes, it is, because that term has been historically used to further marginalize and oppress black people.
Okay, so do you not say browns either? Is that like, because there's an S at the end, is that harmful?
So
I'm just trying to make it clear.
So that
I'm
specific,
honestly kind of confused. This is the first time I've heard it, so I'm not even trying to be mean.
I got you. I could explain it to you. All right. So yeah. Also, that term is also like harmful. Yes, that term is also very harmful. Right. So we shouldn't say that one either. All right. So specifically speaking, we could say that there can exist like a category of words like whites and then black with an S at the end. Right. Those are grammatically structured the same. However, only one of those two terms has been historically used to like marginalize people. All right, like a good analogy would be like imagine you want to buy an AR. You have two ARs in front of you, one that's straight off of the production line has never been used. Meanwhile, the second AR was used to shoot up a school. Right, you'd obviously buy the one that hasn't been used because the other one has historically been used to perpetuate harm. You might even say that no one should ever use that AR that has been used to shoot up a school in its past again. All right, now think about the terms whites and black with an S at the end in a very similar manner. The term whites has never been used like historically to like systemically oppress white people, but the term black with an S at the end has. I'd say the logic to justify that using the term black with an S at the end is wrong to say is very similar to justifying the claim that saying the N-word is wrong to say. Okay, because at the end of the day, we shouldn't use these terms because they have been historically used to harm and oppress black people. And Zena, thank you for the Julie. And Tyrus, thank you for the $15 on Venmo. Thank you so much, Ty. Massive W's for Ty in the chat. Thank you so much for the $15. And Solomon, thank you for the Rosie.
Okay, I mean, I honestly didn't know. And
you're good. I'm here to educate, man.
And few people in the chat have said I said people, not with the S at the end, but
there will always be people who lie.
Okay, that's fine. So you said you wanted to make your point about the bigot thing, which is, so I'm ready to hear your point.
Yeah, honestly, I just think that you're super butthurt that I called you out on holding beliefs that are regressive to society. Like saying that you want to platform a racist, rapist, misogynistic, wannabe dictator and day one fascist that like overturn federal protections for women's right to choose and already tried to coup our country to rig the outcome of the 2020 election because you don't like the fact that trans kids should be able to get health care that is reversible in the long term and takes 2 years to get approval from medical doctors is insane, right? That is absolutely a bigoted belief because you're essentially throwing like our country out of the window and you want to put it on the line because you think that 0.05% of the population that doesn't is not harmful to you, right, is bad and shouldn't have access to healthcare. That is bigotry at its finest. That's regressive to
When
society.
you say
and I have no
access to
issue with calling that
healthcare,
out.
what does healthcare entail? Isn't it to take care of someone's health in a positive way? And do you think blocking someone's hormonal balance at 13 years old is affecting their health in a positive way?
Yeah,
and
the
it's
same way,
it's
like-
not completely reversible. That's actually a lie.
The same way we see that
Oh.
hormone treatment for like cis kids is legal, and like is no transphobe takes issue with that. So I don't see why we'd be taking issue with it in this respect either. But I've also clarified.
You're
here
talking about
that
HGH?
This is something
For someone that is delayed puberty and they're having human growth hormone to enhance their hormones so they could go through puberty naturally. Is that the one you're talking about?
So
I'm
first
just trying
of
to see
all,
what your reference is.
Like no synthetic healthcare is natural. Like second of all, yes, and then third of all, I've already pointed out the fact that this is not on Kamala Harris's campaign. I feel like you're using this point to detract from the fact that Donald Trump has done these bad things that we should not platform into the Oval Office. Like you seem to not draw like a red line at him raping a woman, or you seem to not draw a red line at him trying to coup our country and steal an election, and you also seem to not draw a red line at him religiously persecuting. But then you conceive of this fake red line that Kamala Harris is going to push for easier access to healthcare for trans youth, which is something I wish she'd platform, but she unfortunately isn't. And then that's the reason why you're not voting for her.
I never said that was my sole reason. I told you my reason before.
Okay, so why
I
do you
got
think
here.
that Kamala Harris is not a good candidate for the presidency?
Never said she was a bad candidate.
I said, why do you not think she's a good one?
I never said that she wasn't a good one.
Okay, so why do you think she's worse than Trump?
Well, if I put it this way, on the past 4 years, I know you're going to say, oh, she's a VP. VP doesn't have much power. But let's see, when she became in power for the how many past months since Biden resigned, what has she done to benefit the country in those few months that she's only promising to do once she's elected?
Wait, you think that Kamala Harris is our president right now?
Well, she's not the actual president, but she's within that position of power now.
No, she's not. When did Biden resign from the presidency?
Didn't he step down?
He stepped out of the race for another term. He did not step out of the Oval Office.
Oh.
Dude, let's be real. Come on,
mean,
Daniel.
No, it's fine. I'm wrong. And that's completely fine. I'll admit when I'm wrong.
So she's passed more tie-breaking votes in the Senate than any VP in American history.
Yeah, I know.
She also
She's
passed
done
a
that.
tie-breaking. She also passed a tie-breaking vote on the Inflation Reduction Act, which was the largest investment into renewable energy resources that we've ever seen in our country, and it's also deficit reducing in the long term. And alongside Biden, they passed some of the most monumental legislation in modern U.S. history, such as the PACT Act that invested $1 billion into expanding VA healthcare benefits, the Chips and Science Act that invested billions of dollars into U.S. chip producers to create more manufacturing here for the U.S. for chips. We're going to be producing 20% of the global supply by 2030. She also influenced the infrastructure bill that invested nearly $1 trillion into local communities across the U.S. to renew their infrastructure, to stimulate their economy, and to create construction jobs. And there's like a whole plethora of other ones that I could go over here too. They've been incredibly effective administration for a country. So I'm just still wondering why the racist, rapist, 34-count felon dictator on day one that defrauded young adults at Trump University and attempted to religiously persecute all Muslims and attempted to steal the election in 2020 from Joe Biden with use of fake votes in Congress, saying that he wanted to install himself for a second term, is better than Kamala Harris. I'm waiting for your reason, Daniel.
Well, I told you my reason. And then also, well, one, he represents a party that goes a little bit towards my morals and beliefs. So I'll sway towards that. And then I'll use,
like
I'll use
what specifically?
his last 4 years.
So what specific morals and beliefs?
So one, I like his take on abortion, leaving it up to the states. I think that's a good reason. It's a good middle ground because a lot of people obviously think it's very black and white, and that's a gray issue as well.
Okay, can I ask you a question?
So I like how it goes into the state. So if you disagree with how your state is handling it, you could move to another state that goes more with your values and beliefs.
Okay, I have a question for you.
Yes.
So 1920, women having the right to vote was highly contentious. The country was divided on it. Would a good middle ground have been leaving that up to the states?
Would it be a good middle ground leaving it up to the states for
women's rights
women
to vote? Yeah.
No, I don't think so. I think.
But it was highly contentious. People disagreed. They either thought that women should or shouldn't. Therefore, according to your logic, the good middle ground would have been leaving it up to the states. Why not? How would that not follow, given your logic? Or are you just now realizing that your logic is bad?
That's using a different example to purport like your narrative about it, right?
Oh no, so it's called an analogy.
Yeah, you used the same analogy when I brought up RFK and you brought up Taylor Swift, which is a horrible analogy, to be completely honest.
Okay, so it's a bad analogy to compare these two scenarios. Why?
Because they're different scenarios.
Okay, so what's the relevant distinction that makes them disanalogous, conceptually speaking?
Can you repeat that?
Name it. Yeah, what's the relevant
honestly, you just
distinction that
talked
makes them
fast and
disanalogous,
gave me 2
conceptually
seconds
speaking?
to think about it and then talked again, so I couldn't think about it.
So what's the relevant distinction that makes them disanalogous, conceptually speaking? Because in one scenario, you're saying, well, this right of the woman is highly contentious, people disagree, therefore the middle ground is to leave it up to the state. But the analogy here would be that a woman's right to vote was highly contentious. People disagreed in 1920, yet you don't think that the good middle ground should have been leaving it up to the state. I'm asking you what the relevant difference is here.
The relative difference is that they're 2 different scenarios. So it's hard to it's hard to pinpoint exactly. So can you tell me why you don't think it's good left up to the states?
Okay, so you couldn't name the relevant distinction. You just said it was a bad analogy because it proved your point wrong. That's intellectually lazy.
Well, no, I'm
I don't
asking
think
you
that it
to
should be left
inform
up
me
to the.
why. I'm being completely honest.
I don't think it should be left up to the state because I think that there's basic human rights that should be protected universally speaking in every country across the world. The most we could do is just domestic federal policy. I don't think that women in California or Colorado should have different access to healthcare than women in Indiana or Texas or Alabama. I think at the end of the day, all women should have the same access to healthcare, and enacting on these basic rights of bodily autonomy and integrity, right, to prevent putting an unwanted child in an unready household, right, should be protected federally speaking. Right, I think that pro-life legislation has drastic consequences. I think that pro-life legislation forces unwanted kids in unready households. It shifts the American family dynamic from financially well-off adults that desire to start a family that consent to having kids to forcing 18, 19, 20-year-old boys and girls into doing exactly that because the white men in Washington, D.C. are denying the woman her access to healthcare. And I also don't think that the multicellular life of a fetus is valuable. I value sentience. A fetus doesn't have that until 24 weeks. 23, 24 weeks.
What at 23 or 24 makes it a sentient being?
Yeah, so medical professionals have determined that it's most likely that the thymocortical connections that occur at about 20 through 24 weeks are going to be conducive towards the necessary brain waves to deploy sentience, right? And that is what I value.
So brain activity starts at 6 weeks, and the heartbeat starts at 6 weeks as well. Does that not make it a sentient being? It has to wait till 20 weeks.
So what is sentience, Daniel?
Huh?
What is sentience?
You can inform me.
Subjective first-person experiences. Think consciousness. Okay. Brain-dead patients have brainwaves, yet brain-dead patients are not conscious. Right. Brainwaves do not necessarily equal consciousness. You have to have a sufficient threshold of particular brainwaves that would be conducive towards that. And then once again, the consensus from medical professionals is 20 through 24 weeks.
Okay, so then that's how you value life, basically, right? So if someone else values life a little bit differently, are they morally wrong in your eyes?
Yeah. So
why do you hold a moral high ground for this position?
Yeah, because I think that other beliefs are just result in a contradiction or absurdity. I could demonstrate this to you. So why are you pro-life?
I'm not completely pro-life. I believe.
Do you believe that abortion is bad?
I believe there should be red lines. Can I explain my red lines before I get antagonized with questions, and then you could ask me the questions?
Well, I'm interested in having a conversation about the morality of abortion, right? Not your red lines empirically speaking. So do you think that abortion is murder?
If it's after a certain point, yes.
Which is?
To me, I don't think it's as far as 20 to 24 weeks. I think it's sooner.
So what's your point?
So my points may be, I would go around the 10-week mark. And this is due to brain activity starting and a heartbeat starting. So I just think it's sooner than
so
what you think.
So if a human has some brain activity and a heartbeat, you think that it's murder to kill them. Brain-dead patients have some brain activity and a heartbeat. It's murder to pull the plug.
Well, isn't it their spouse's decision? They have the right to decide it. And I know you're going to say, oh, well, now you have the right to decide someone else's fate. But I think those two things aren't very comparable, because if someone's brain dead, there's a possibility of them working through or there's been countless times where there's people have been brain dead and then weeks later they have kind of recovered or at least became more, consciously aware.
No, so that doesn't occur. There's not been any scenario of someone being brain dead then coming back, because brain death is defined as the irreversible cessation of cognitive function. If someone is thought to be brain dead then brought back, it means that they're misdiagnosed. However, once again, I'm taking your logic and I'm showing how it's absurd. Right? We wouldn't say that pulling the plug on a brain dead patient is murder, right? Even though they have some brain waves and a heartbeat, right? And the reason you gave me why you value fetus is because they have some brain waves and a heartbeat. So there's no distinction here between these two criterias being met of the fetus, therefore you think it's murder to kill it, with these same two criteria being met of the brain dead patient, yet you don't think it's murder to kill it. That in of itself is a direct contradiction, right? If your view insofar as why you want to infringe upon the rights of all 170 million American women and girls is contradictory, it's a view that you shouldn't hold to, right? We reduce views on like why you think the way you do to be dog shit based upon if it yields a contradiction or not, right? And this view of yours has yielded a contradiction, right? Therefore, we shouldn't give it like any weight, right, in our politics. I mean, like go ahead.
It just seems that you try to hold like a moral high ground just because at 20 weeks that's when you morally think it's fine, and if I hold at 10 weeks, my moral belief is wrong now.
It's wrong because it resulted in a contradiction.
But you used a contradiction of an example. You just used another example to kind of push a certain narrative, right? So you just used another hypothetical.
Analogy. Okay, do you know what the Socratic method is?
I know what it, huh?
What's the Socratic method?
I do not know, but I'm sure you do, so that's why you're bringing it up.
Yeah, so the Socratic method is basically drilling down like the logical validity or soundness of any given position with the use of reductio ad absurdisms and analogies. Right? And so basically that's what I did to your position. I took it and then I showed you how it's poor with use of a conceptual analogy. Right? In one scenario, you say one thing, then in a conceptually synonymous example, you say another thing. This just means that your view is contradictory. But Daniel, I appreciate you for the $5 on PayPal. Is there anything else that you want to go over here, man?
No, lastly, I just want to say, can I just give you my stance and just tell me if this is a good, because I want to reach like a middle ground, because the way Democrats and Republicans, all it is black and white to divide the country a little bit more. And what people don't realize is there's a lot of gray. And I could definitely see I have some definitely left ideologies where I think we need to do a lot more reduction on guns, stuff like that.
Listen, man, like middle ground could be met on gun reform or economics. Middle ground cannot be met on basic human rights.
Okay, can I propose something to you? Because a lot of people disagree with you, and just tell me what you think. And then if you say, no, I don't think that's good, then that's fine. So say we agreed on your week of 20 weeks. So anything after that, what happens to that person? Just so I'm clear.
Elective lethal abortions after 20 weeks are murder under my view. I still think that we should make exceptions alongside we should allow non-lethal elective abortions. But yeah, that's my view. I do appreciate you for coming up, Daniel. I hope that you have a good rest of your day, man.
Thank you, you too.
We're going to move on to our next guest for the 9.5 thousand people hanging out with us in here today. It's so good to see you all. Make sure that we are double tapping away on that phone screen, folks. Let's try to get this live sent out to a handful of friends. And if you do want to support me, my Venmo as well as my PayPal are in my bio. I get 100% of the proceeds on these platforms. And Joe, thank you for the $30 on PayPal, man. I really appreciate you for the love. Let's get some massive W's down below in that chat for Joe. Thank you so much for the $30. Massive W's for Joe literally right now.
What's up, bro?
Hi, hello. So yeah,
How
you
are
came
you?
up. I'm doing all right. You came up yesterday. We never got to have a conversation. You're just kind of shat on me for my age, saying that people had sweat that's older than me, then got banned.
I know. And you know what? I should have actually.
MAGA Mobile. Yo, Gilberto, thank you for the $20 on Venmo for the education. Let's get some W's for Gilberto in the chat right now with the $20. That is absolutely so kind of you, man. I really do appreciate you for the love. Massive W's for Gilberto in the chat. We're going to move on to our next guest here, y'all. Everyone just give us a minute. He did have MAGA Mobile. Hop in the queue if you are voting for Trump. We're going to get our next guest up in the live literally right now. Also, everyone, follow. I want to see if we can hit 700,000 followers today. We are about 30,000 followers away. Hit that follow button right now if you haven't already. We're going to move on to our next guest, y'all. Everyone just give us a minute. If you guys are in the live and you want to come up and debate, spam MAGA down below. Only say MAGA if you do want to come up and debate. Let's go and see what our next guest has to say. And Joe, thank you for the $30 on PayPal. Holy shit, let's get at least 300 W's in the chat for Joe. That means the world to me, man. Thank you so much for your continued support. Massive W's for Joe. What's up, that guy? Are you voting for Trump?
No, because I'm 14.
Okay. All right. Naomi, thank you for the $25 on Venmo, saying, I love you, say it back. I love you too, Naomi. Thank you for the $25 on Venmo. You are absolutely phenomenal. Let's get some W's for Naomi in that chat literally right now. Thank you so much for the $25 on Venmo. You are phenomenal. W's for Naomi in the chat. And Joan, thank you for the sage. You are awesome. We're going to go to get our next guest up in the box literally right now. Everyone just give us a minute. W's for Naomi. We got our next guests loading up. What's up, Wes? Are you voting for Trump?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, how old are you?
I'm 24.
Okay, are you voting for Trump?
I'm not sure yet.
Natasha, thank you for the $50 on Venmo. Holy shit. Then don't spam MAGA in the chat. I really appreciate you for that love, Natasha. That is crazy. Let's get at least 1,000 W's for Natasha down below. And Joe with the $30 on PayPal as well. W's for Joe and Natasha right now down below in that chat. Thank you so much, Joe and Natasha. You guys are absolutely phenomenal. Thank you guys so much for the love. Holy crap. Thank you. What's going on? Are you voting for Trump?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
Yeah, how old are you?
I'm 18, just turned 18. This is my first year voting.
Okay, Kirsten, thank you for the $10 on Venmo, saying thank you for educating so many people. Thank you for the $10, Kirsten. I appreciate you for your support. W's for Kirsten in the chat. So yeah, why are you voting for Trump? Let's hear it.
Well, he had the best order of all time.
What year were you born in?
It was for I was born 2012 or 2005, excuse me.
Yeah, Blake, thank you for the $5 on Venmo. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. All right, buddy. The funny thing is he came up a lot more respectful and well-composed than like a lot of the adults, and he was born in 2012. I'm pretty sure like I own property that's older than him. Okay, we're gonna move on to our next guest. What's up, Eve? Are you voting for Trump? Okay, you're not here. Moving on. What's up? Are you voting for Trump?
Yeah, what's up? Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're voting for Trump?
Yes, sir.
All right, why do you want the fascist dictator and day one rapist in the Oval Office?
I just think that Kamala Harris and Joe Biden just haven't done a good job these 4 years.
Okay, name one bad policy they passed.
Not necessarily just policy-wise, just like everything they've kind of done.
Everything they've kind of done. Name one bad thing they've kind of done.
Well, inflation's at an all-time high.
Okay, how did they cause inflation?
Not too sure.
Not too sure, but they did it. They did it. Okay. So you're saying, well, the inflation happened in the country while they're president, therefore they caused it. So we had the highest rate of unemployment since the Great Depression happen under Trump's term in April of 2020. Did he cause that?
No.
Oh, okay. So if he didn't cause the unemployment, they didn't cause the inflation.
COVID caused it, bro.
Oh, if COVID can cause unemployment, can't COVID cause inflation? Oh, he left. Okay, moving on to our next guest. Guys, spam MAGA in the chat if you want to come up and debate. We're still looking for our next guest. We got some losers. Hi, Dillbilly. Are you voting for Trump?
Yeah.
Okay, why?
Mostly national security.
National security. So Donald Trump tried to overthrow our government and try to rig the outcome of the 2020 election, stealing it from Biden. That was the biggest threat to our nation's security since the Civil War.
So I used to work for an NGO, and I was overseas. So you bring up the Muslim travel ban, right?
Yeah, about how Trump wanted to ban all new Muslims from coming into the country, then figured out that was unconstitutional, so selected six countries.
But policy-wise, on paper, what did he do?
Banned them from 6 countries because that's all he could do, because what he wanted to do with it was unconstitutional.
Where did he get those 6 countries from?
Just because they're proportionally Muslim.
2015, the Visa Waiver Act.
Ray, thank you for the $35 on Venmo, saying, oh, you requested $35. Okay.
So in 2015, under Barack Obama, who I actually thought did a good job as president, there was the visa waiver. There were visa waivers put into place for certain countries. All of those countries are who Donald Trump included in his travel ban. 90-day travel ban, by the way, which was a response to the Pulse nightclub shooting.
$5 on Venmo. I appreciate you for the love. Yeah,
So
which
the
was
Pulse
committed
nightclub shooting, which was
by a U.S. citizen. But like my point here is, like, I know that the policy implemented wasn't a direct ban on all new Muslims entering into our country, but that's what he like intended to do, and I think that the intention alone is sufficient not voting for him. Like, if Trump like wanted to religiously persecute but failed, you shouldn't vote for him. The same way if he wanted to reinstitute slavery but failed, you shouldn't vote for him.
But he only wanted a 90-day ban.
Okay, I don't care if you're religiously persecuting for 1 day, 2 days, 90 days, or forever. It's wrong. For instance,
But it was
if someone
because of a
kidnapped you,
manifesto
but
that
only
was
wanted to
written by the
kidnap you for
shooter.
90 days. And T, thank you so much for the extension to the 1 month sub. Where did the shooting occur?
At the Pulse nightclub in Orlando, Florida.
Okay, so no, so that's actually not what inspired him to want to ban all new Muslims from entering into our country. The San Bernardino terror attacks did. The San Bernardino terror attack happened the day before he announced it. That's what led him to this.
And so it was I get like emotional response. We all have them. So just
Ray, thank you for the $45 on Venmo. Holy shit, Ray, you're awesome. Let's get some massive W's in the chat for Ray right now with a $45. You are absolutely phenomenal. I really appreciate you for the love. Massive W's for Ray right now down below in that chat. Thank you so much, Ray. You are absolutely great. Massive W's for Ray. Dillbilly, listen, you pivoted away from the first point I made.
What's that? What's the first point?
Yeah, you said that you're voting for Trump because of national security. He launched the biggest internal attack on our nation and on our democracy since the Civil War when he tried to steal the election from Biden in 2020. If you cared about our national security, you wouldn't be voting for Trump.
So under him, and this is coming from my time living overseas, living in. So
respond to the fact that he tried to overthrow our country with a coup to steal an election, please.
I don't think he incited a coup because I don't think you can say he said dumb stuff, but you can't say that rhetoric is what caused these people to do that. I think, and even with
okay, so you're going to be talking about the riots on January 6th. What I'm talking about is Trump sending fake slates of electorates to 7 different states to cast fake certificates of ascertainment or votes from states that he lost, saying that he won, to be certified as real in Congress. He tried to install himself for a second term with the use of fake votes in Congress. Okay, and he admitted to this to the Supreme Court.
Okay, yeah, that's dumb. He shouldn't have done that. So here's the deal.
So would you ever vote for someone that tried to coup the country and steal an election?
No.
Okay, so Trump tried to do that. He admitted to it.
All right. So, yeah, you got me on that one. So, and this is the deal.
Perfect. Thanks for coming up. All right. Well, if logic follows, if you never vote for someone that is partaking in these actions and Donald Trump's partaking in those actions, the logical conclusion is that you will not be voting for Donald Trump. Appreciate you for coming up. All right, moving on to our next guest, Spam MAGA in the chat if you do want to come up and debate. I want to debate a crazy Trump supporter. I want to get a phenomenal MAGA supporter up in the live. Joe with a $50 on PayPal. Joe, thank you so much for the love. Thank you so much for the love, Joe. You guys have been so phenomenal today. Let's please get at least 500 W's in the chat for Joe. You were absolutely great, bro. Thank you so much for the $50. We ought to show some insane love to Joe and the rest of our donors. And if you want to personally donate to me, my Venmo as well as my PayPal are in my bio. I get all of the proceeds on those platforms. Hey man, are you voting for Trump?
Yeah.
Okay, so why do you want a rapist to run our country?
Well, I have some questions for you actually. Did you endorse Joe Biden before Kamala Harris?
Yeah, and if Joe Biden was still running today, I'd still vote for him today.
So you openly said he had a racist past, correct?
Yep.
But you still wanted to vote for him?
Yeah, because within the sense of like racism, comparing Joe Biden to Donald Trump, Joe Biden has a racist past just like Trump, yet Joe Biden has taken accountability for it, has apologized for it, and has become a better person. So he's
just because he apologized for it, it didn't happen.
No, it did happen, but that makes him the lesser of two evils within this respect. Right? But when we're comparing Donald Trump to Kamala Harris, right, we're no longer speaking on the lesser of two evils because Kamala Harris is not a racist and Donald Trump is.
All right, so she was endorsed by a racist.
Okay. Well, I mean, if you want to talk about endorsements by a racist, Donald Trump was endorsed by Duke Dennis, the founder and leader of the KKK.
I don't know who Duke Dennis is, man.
I just told you exactly who he was. Or like Mark Robinson. Like, you want to talk about how Trump endorsed Mark Robinson? The self-proclaimed black Nazi.
See, I haven't heard. I heard about that, but I don't know if it's true or not. Give me some. What did he?
Oh wait, by the way, his name is David Duke, not Duke Dennis. David Duke.
Yeah, I'm about to say Duke Dennis.
Not Duke Dennis. Duke Dennis. Duke Dennis is not. Duke Dennis is not the leader of the KKK.
Yeah, dude,
do not sue me for defamation. David Duke.
That's exactly what I paused about, bro. That's why I didn't say anything. I'm Duke Dennis is a streamer, bro.
I'm cooked. I'm gonna have a cease and desist on my doorstep in less than 4 hours. Okay.
But no, I'm 18 years old. I have not voted. I was born in 2006. I like to say I am in between. Like, I'm not like a MAGA, like full Trump supporter. I'm not super educated on the thing, but I did see the video. I did see the video where you did say that Joe Biden had a racist past, so I just was confused on how you could call somebody a racist when they were voting for Trump, but Joe Biden also had a racist past. You see?
I got you, because like there's like a couple aspects here where we're going to be comparing the lesser of two evils. Like when Joe Biden was running against Donald Trump, I didn't make the point of racism because they both had the racist past. However, Joe Biden has an edge on Donald Trump because at least Joe Biden has apologized, took in accountability, and become a better person. And Trump has never apologized for a damn thing a day in his life, right? But now, right, Kamala Harris is running against Donald Trump, and Kamala Harris is not a racist. But I mean, if you say that you're in the middle, or you just want to vote for what's going to be better for our country, the question I'd like to ask you is, well, would you ever vote for someone that's been held liable for violently sexually abusing or raping a woman?
Okay, so I do not know. I have heard about what Donald Trump has said, and I do not agree with that. I do not agree that somebody, like I said, I've heard what he said about women. I do not agree that somebody.
Sean! Holy shit! Sean with the $500. Wait.
You just got $500?
Oh, I thought I did. They actually just requested $500 from me.
Nice. All right. Oh, where was I?
Go ahead. Yeah. So, would you ever vote for someone that's been held liable for violently sexually abusing a woman? And Emma, thank you for the $5.
Okay. So I have heard what he has said about grabbing women in certain areas. I've heard that.
Can you if you'd ever vote for someone that's been held liable by a jury for raping a woman?
All right. Well, I don't know if he's actually done it. I've heard what he said, so that's the answer.
Okay. Would you vote for someone that's been held liable by a jury for raping a woman? Yes or no? Tanya, thank you for the.
No, but I also wouldn't vote for somebody that's openly said they had a racist past. So.
Okay. Where's Kamala Harris said that she has a racist past?
Well, you like Joe Biden, right?
Okay, that point fails, man. I've already went over that.
All right. Well, here we go. Kamala Harris.
So you said that you wanted. You said that
1%.
You said that you wanted. So I wanted 1 second. 1 second. You said that you wouldn't vote for someone that's been held liable for rape. Donald Trump has been held liable for rape. Does that mean that you won't be voting?
I'll have to look more into that. That means that I'm.
You have to look more into it. You told me that you wouldn't vote for someone that's been held liable for rape. That would imply logically that you. So then you want to vote for Trump?
I'll look more into that.
But there's a break in the logic. If you never vote for someone that's been held liable for rape, and Donald Trump has been held liable for rape, that means that you'd never vote for Trump.
If that's true, you're right. I wouldn't vote for Trump.
Okay, wait. So you're saying that if I could prove to you that Donald Trump has been held liable for rape, you wouldn't vote for him?
This is what I believe. I believe that Kamala Harris has never been popular in the polls.
Skedaddle. You folded. You folded. You couldn't stand on business. Yo, Lindsay! Holy shit! Lindsay! Oh my god! Lindsay, thank you so much for the $100 on Venmo. That is insane, Lindsay. Thank you for the love, Lindsay. That is actually insane. I want to get at least 1,000 W's for Lindsay in the chat right now for the $100 on Venmo. That is absolutely fucking nuts. Thank you so much for your love, Lindsay. You are phenomenal. Thank you so much for the $100, Lindsay. I absolutely love you so much. Thank you for the $100. We're going to go and get our next guest up in here. Please show some love to Lindsay. Lindsay says, keep up the great work to the future generations of educated free thinkers. You are absolutely great, Lindsay. Thank you so much. I mean, just insane. Thank you for your love. And then also, Vicky with the $20 on Venmo, saying it's not $500, but per usual, thank you for your constant knowledge. Vicky, thank you for the $20. Let's get some W's for Vicky down there in the chat alongside the W's for Lindsay. And Joe with the $50. Holy crap, you guys are going off. What is happening? Joe, thank you for the $50, saying, I know that this isn't $500, but here you go. Joe, you're great. W's for Lindsay, W's for Joe, and W's for Vicky. Chat, show them some love. Y'all are great. Thank you guys so much. What's up, man? Are you voting for Trump?
Yes.
Okay. Why?
I feel like he's the lesser of two evils. I haven't liked Kamala Harris for a while.
Okay. So if he's the lesser of two evils, answer this. He's said that he dated a 10-year-old girl in 10 years. He's boasted about grabbing women by the P word without asking first. He's called all black people lazy. He denied housing opportunities to black people in the 70s. He called for religious persecutions against Muslim in 2015. And then he overturned Roe v. Wade, resulting in 65,000 victims of rape not having access to abortion in the last 3 years. What has Kamala Harris done that's worse than those things? Because if she's the lesser of two evils, if he's the lesser of two evils, this would imply that she's done worse. So what has she done that's worse?
So, first of all, the Biden diary was found to be true. So, a lot of stuff is in there about the fact that Biden did suspect things with his daughter.
Okay,
and
so we could talk about that, but Biden's not running for president. And
no,
that's
you're
not
right.
true.
No, you're. But what I'm saying is that you're telling me I'm a fool for endorsing or voting for Trump. But the funny thing is Kamala voted for Biden, so she voted for someone who did SA.
Oh, okay. So if you like someone that apparently did SA, right, that's reason not to like that. That's pretty bad.
I'm saying that's one of the reasons. And then secondly,
woman, because working for Diddy for 6 years trained me to have to be perfect.
Working for Diddy?
Absolutely.
I love Diddy.
Okay, we can go clip for clip.
You know, he's a good
That's
friend
fine.
of mine. He's a good guy.
Okay,
we can go.
Is he a good guy?
I don't want to answer that question.
Oh, wow. I think he's a good guy. I'm going to stick up for him. All right.
This woman, because
He also specifically said that he likes young girls just like Jeffrey Epstein, and that Jeffrey Epstein's a great guy.
We can go clip for clip, Dean.
No, but even when we're referencing Ashley Biden's diary, so specifically
I'm not
speaking,
going Ashley Biden's diary. I'm telling you, Kamala will do anything to get presidency, just like she did anything to get the DA by lying about the amount of cases she has. Here we go, clip for clip.
Which have been for prosecutorial misconduct.
I'm glad you corrected
Be
me.
embarrassed.
How many cases have you tried? Can you tell us how many serious felonies you have tried? Can you tell us what?
I've tried about 50 cases, Mr. Fazio, and it's about leadership.
Ms. Harris, why does your information, which is still published, say that you tried hundreds of serious felonies? I think that's misleading. I think that's disingenuous. I think that shows that you are incapable of leadership and you're not to be trusted. You continue to put out information which says you have tried hundreds of serious felonies.
Justin, thank you for the $5 on Venmo.
Can you answer my question?
She goes on and not answer the question. So she lied about how many people she tried to get the DA job. She'll lie about anything. And then also she said that Joe Biden was a racist back on the stage in the debates in 2020. And yet she joined up with him like Captain America and was like, hey,
Julia, thank you for the $5 on
right
Venmo.
alongside someone who's a racist. And I personally called racist on the stage. And now I want to be his VP. So she's contradicted to do whatever she wants to get
Okay,
to the
so
top.
I'd like to clarify. So you think that she personally called Joe Biden a racist on TV, on the debate?
She called on
Show
the
me.
debate, on their debates.
Sophia, thank you for the $3 on
Joe Biden was a
PayPal.
racist.
Play me a clip.
It
It doesn't exist because she didn't. Actually, so what happened is that she specified that Joe Biden's not a racist and then went on to say that she disagrees with him with the people that he worked with in the 70s.
To hear you talk about the reputations of two United States senators who built their reputations and career on the segregation of race in this country. And it was not only that, but you also worked with them to oppose busing. And, there was a little girl in California who was part of the second class to integrate her public schools. And she was bused to school every day.
So she goes on telling him about how he has racist policies. Yet
Yeah, I have a
voted
question.
for him.
Can you play 5 seconds before where that clip started?
That one started like that.
We've also heard.
No, it doesn't. You could. Yeah, I want you to play 5 seconds before.
I'm telling you, that is how it started.
You have also been.
So, what I'm saying is, she's telling him the whole debate how has racist policies.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and play it for you.
Go ahead.
Of race. I couldn't agree more.
That's why I started it.
That this is an issue that is still not being talked about truthfully and honestly. There is not a black man I know, be he a relative, a friend, or a coworker, who has not been the subject of some form of profiling or discrimination. Growing up, my sister and I had to deal with the neighbor who told us her parents couldn't play with us because we were black. And I will say also that in this campaign, we've also heard, and I'm going to now direct this at Vice President Biden. I do not believe you are a racist.
Thanks for leaving that context out.
He has done multiple racist things, and she knows it. You know
Thank you so much for leaving that context out. Love Visit said, "Oh, that's where the clip started." She didn't say anything prior.
CNN. I must work at CBS because they do the same thing. Joe Biden said multiple.
Yo, no shot, no fucking shot. Did you just admit to like intentionally misconstruing the contents of that clip, and then when you get called out for it, you just said, "Oh, that's what CNN does too." Oh my God, you're so intellectually dishonest. Jesus Christ. Yo, Jamin, thank you for the $60 on Venmo. Jamin said, "Changed my entire outlook with our conversation Saturday." I remember you, Jamin. I remember calling you a rational reason human. You are great. I want to see some W's for Jamin in the chat. Purdy, thank you for the boxing gloves. W's for Purdy. Jamin came up and debated me about why he wanted to vote for Trump, and then he left with an entirely new outlook. Thank you so much for the $60 donation, Jamin. Let's show some love to Jamin in that chat literally right now. And then Holland with the $50 on PayPal saying, "Get him, Dean." Let's get some W's for Jamin and some W's for Holland. Thank you so much for the $50, Holland, and the $60, Jamin. You are phenomenal, Jalen. I'm being dead ass. And then Netta, thank you for the $20 on PayPal. Saying can't afford more but wanted to support you from Finland. Thank you for the $20 donation, Netta. W's for Netta in the chat too. Sorry, I was taking my victory lap and thanking my donors. Go ahead.
It's not a victory lap, Dean. You know you're completely wrong with this. And
Good,
so,
thank you for the travel. I literally played you a clip to prove you wrong.
No, I'm telling you right now that there's been multiple stances where Biden has said racist things and she endorsed them. That's another bad decision. Are you going to address the fact that she lied about how many cases she tried as DA to get the job? That was her debating two other DA, Bill Fazio and Theodore Hillo. And so you're telling me that she didn't lie on the DA debate?
Yeah, so I'll address like your first claim about her endorsing a racist, and then I'll address your claim about her lying, unless you want me to do it opposite. Hugo, thank you for the $10 on Venmo. W's for Hugo in the chat. Or actually, which one do you want me to address first?
Either way.
Either way, perfect. So first of all, about her endorsing Joe Biden a racist, let's talk about Mark Robinson. Donald Trump saying that a self-proclaimed black Nazi
You're
is
talking
the
about Donald
modern-day
Trump.
Martin Luther
I'm talking
King
about
Jr.
Kamala. Talk about Kamala. Don't talk about Donald Trump. We're talking about Kamala.
Don't do a comparative analysis between the candidates because Donald Trump will always look worse. Do not compare Kamala Harris against Donald Trump. Do not do it. Do not do it. Never do it. Never do the comparative analysis. But yeah, no, like as she specified, like although Biden has done racist things in his past, he's apologized for them and became a better person, right? And I could also, it's pronounced Kamala Harris. Kamala, I pronounce her name right, I'm going to kick you. And so like specifically speaking, we have to consider that.
It's pronounced Kamala Harris.
So then, like, also another consideration here about Kamala Harris lying. I'm not going to be voting for Jesus 2.0. I'm going to be voting for the candidate that lies less. No one lies more than Donald Trump. Donald Trump incessantly has been lying for the last 4 years about the outcome of the 2020 election. You have a echo, go on pause, then come back. He's convinced tens of millions of American citizens that the election in 2020 was stolen from him. That was actively undermining our democracy. He also told over 30,000 confirmed lies during his presidency, one of his advisors stating that he doesn't know the difference between what's true and false, and he just says whatever comes to his mind. He lied about being in a helicopter crash with Willie Brown.
He lied about windmills causing cancer. I'm asking you how she can be valid for endorsing Joe Biden. Like, how can you say that somebody who's that terrible that nobody wants to run, she voted for? So obviously she makes poor choices because she also lied about how many DA cases she tried.
Okay, so about Joe Biden being a poor president, what's one bad policy he passed?
The Inflation Reduction Act. Where's the reducing?
Okay, so the Inflation Reduction Act is deficit reducing over 10 years, which means as de-inflationary pressures. But the predominant reason that they passed the Inflation Reduction Act was that it was the largest investment in renewable energy resources ever, and it saves the government money over 10 years. How is that a bad bill?
I'm not trying to save the government money. I'm trying to save us money from having the IRS back.
Kenna, thank you for the $5 on
tell you everything you need to know. The IRS came out yesterday and backed Kamala Harris. That should tell you everything you need to know.
It's pronounced Kamala. Say her name.
Kamala Harris. Hey Harris. Miss Harris. They literally came and backed her. That should tell you everything you need to know. And
okay, so when the KKK backs Trump, does that tell me everything I need to know?
So you're with the IRS. You think they're great people and you love the fact that you have to pay taxes, even though in Dubai, they have no federal income tax. They are completely funded by tariffs, which actually they have high tariffs and it works for their country. They're beautiful. I've been to Dubai. You can look it up. There's zero income tax in Dubai, completely funded by tariffs. Yes, it will have higher
Blue,
prices.
thank you for the baby dragon. I appreciate you for the love. W's for Blue in the chat. Thank you.
More manufacturing jobs in the United States, allow us to regulate the product so there's not PAFs and other things in the products. It allows more jobs in the United States. Tariffs completely fund Dubai. Do not tell me that that won't work, because there's a whole country that functions off them that's beautiful.
Okay, so first of all, Dubai is not completely funded by tariffs, right?
Okay, I have a source for that right here. It's actually Wikipedia, Dean. You're actually telling them lies right now. Go ahead and look up, does Dubai have income tax?
Dubai.
No,
so there's a difference between saying that Dubai doesn't have a federal income tax and saying that Dubai is completely reliant on tariffs.
It completely relies on tariffs. That's exactly what this says on Wikipedia.
Okay, so 100% of government expenditure.
Yes, 100%.
And what is their annual government expenditure?
Dubai's annual government expenditure. I don't know what AED is.
What is it in AED?
It gives it into a country. It says the total
Just look up in USD.
expenditure is, it doesn't say USD, it says AED.
Specifically look it up in USD.
It says 67.14 billion expenditure. That's alone what we have on our military budget.
Wait, you think our military budget
No, what I'm
is
telling you is
$67 billion?
64.14. We've sent more to Ukraine than that.
Exactly my point, right?
That's their whole.
So a country that only spends $67 billion per year, right? It can be reliant on tariffs. A country that spends trillions of dollars a year, Amelia. Thank you so much for the $5.
But I guess we need to start growing things in America.
Cannot be reliant on tariffs. Okay. All right. And then also, tariffs are a regulation on the market. What happened to your free market, laissez-faire capitalism? Oh, what about that? I think that the government should stop giving the American people handouts. I think that we should make our federal government smaller. I think that they should get their hands out of economics, and we should incentivize American manufacturing through investment, leading and driving to more innovation through continued competition, compared to having the government set a standard with the regulatory means of tariffs. Not to mention that tariffs hurt U.S.-owned businesses. When Trump imposed his tariffs on China, we saw that U.S. agricultural exports of soybeans plummeted, bankrupting American farmers. It was so bad that Donald Trump had to respond to this by specifically bailing them out with $28 billion. Okay? Tariffs also cause inflation, and they are regressive in the sense that the inflation disproportionately affects members of the low and the middle class. So you want to pay for Donald Trump's tax cuts, no more federal tax, specifically through tariffs, that would cause an immense amount of inflation and would destroy the low and the middle class. You don't care about the average American because you want to destroy them. You don't care about the 170 million American women and girls because you're voting for a rapist. You don't care about already marginalized communities such as the African American community because this man is a racist that also happened to decrease funding to historically black universities. You don't care about other marginalized communities such as the LGBTQ plus community because he says that he wants to put God back in the schools and no one's been more pro-US and pro-God than him. You don't care about individuals that legally migrate into our country from southern Latin American countries because Donald Trump has convinced his voter base to be radicalized around the beliefs that they're eating our dogs and cats and that they shouldn't be trusted because they're MS-13 rapist pedophiles. You do not care about anyone outside of your own perspective that doesn't benefit him and his privilege policy built for the oppressing class. And that is the fucking reason. And that is the issue with Trump supporters.
No, I'm actually trying to talk. You keep muting me. What I'm telling you is tariffs prior to 1913, that's what the United States functioned off of. The American farmers would have more money if we didn't tax them into the ground on the IRS. So if we impose tariffs, we wouldn't have to take their income or tax them.
Hey, prior to what year?
1913.
Yeah, you want to know why?
Because we were functionable before they decided to impose the federal government, which is completely illegal and shouldn't even be. It was supposed to be a war tax, but then they made it mandatory.
Brittany, thank you so much for the $15 on Venmo. I appreciate you for the love. Let's get some W's for Brittany in the chat.
You know what,
so
Dean?
I want to run a
right now. I will send you $100.
Oh wait, unmute your mic. You're gonna send me $100 of what? Wait, I'm mute. I was gonna talk. What were you saying about $100?
I will give you $100 if you can show me a real law, constitutionally a real law, where you're mandated to pay taxes. The Federal Reserve is such a joke, and that's such a misconception. You voluntarily pay taxes. And you don't even know that you're going into the scheme of it until you go onto a 10 easy form when you're 18 years old. You are subjected into this Ponzi scheme of the government owning you and your birth certificate circulating in the United States market, and they treating you like cattle. So I don't even know where you think, yeah, an IRS agent actually goes around here, and she quit the IRS after 37 years because somebody told her they would pay her $1 million if she could find a law. And guess what, Dean? I could send you that lady's info. There's no law. There is no law that you have to pay federal taxes. There's no law.
Okay, all right. So in 1894, Congress passed the Wilson-Gorman tariff, which created an income tax of 2% on income of over $4,000, right? And also specifically within Article 1, Section 9 of the U.S. Constitution, it states that tax shall be laid unless proportion to the consensus or enumeration herein before the directed to be taken, right? We'd also specifically see that McCulloch versus Maryland in 1819, that Congress chartered the second bank of the United States, and that they passed legislation to impose taxes on the bank, forcing them to.
They're imposing them. That doesn't mean that it's your job to do so. They can pass the law right now and say that I'm a dog. It doesn't mean that it's legal.
Also, I'd like to say that in 1913, the passage of the 16th Amendment effectively overturned the holding on Pollock. The Revenue Act of 1913 passed after the 16th Amendment's ratification and reinstated the federal tax income obligating U.S. citizens to pay federal tax, right? If you like a particular source from this, just look up the Revenue Act of 1913. Where's my $100?
No, the federal government is not legal. I'm telling you, not a federal law. I'm not looking for an illegal federal law. The Fed is completely illegal. The federal government isn't even in the United States. You know that, right? It's actually in a different country, and it's not regulated by the United States.
What? If the federal government isn't regulated by our country, then why do they operate under our Constitution?
Reserve. Yeah, they actually operate illegally if you look into it, Dean.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and say this once again. So the Revenue Act of 1913, right, instated the federal income tax, right, and it is not an illegal operation, and specifically, this abides by the 16th Amendment of our U.S. Constitution. The only reason
Trump is going after because it's illegal.
How can an amendment to the Constitution be illegal?
Because it's illegally passed without we, the people, voting on it. It's people who are no longer going for it.
But the amendment was passed insofar as specifically the requirements of the Constitution.
But what I'm telling you is Congress.
Jay, thank you for the $2 on Venmo. Give me my $100. Give me my $100.
That's not a law.
Give me my $100. Yes. The Wait. The Revenue Act of 1913 is a law. Pay the fuck up.
No, that is an illegal law that was not.
An illegal law? An illegal law? Did you just say an illegal law?
That's a legal law.
Oh my God! It's yes. Wait. I have a question. So, if a law aligns with the U.S. Constitution, can the law be illegal?
The Constitution overrides the law.
The Constitution. So Constitution sits above federal law. This federal law was only able to be passed because of an amendment to the Constitution. The Constitution allowed the Revenue Act of 1913 to be passed. Pay up.
When you are a sovereign citizen, you do not owe federal taxes.
We have a sovereign citizen on.
A sovereign citizen does not have to pay federal taxes.
You know what would be fun, guys? You know what would be fun? Go find law. I told him that I'd let him talk to a sovereign citizen. Brittany, thank you for the $15 on PayPal. Thank you so much for the love. Thank you for the $15 for the illegal law. Thank you so much.
You stating all these felonies Trump has, why don't you go to the Misconduct Act and show the 36 accused spousal abuse of Congress, the 3 for assault, the 14 for fraud, the 8 shoplifting, 21 DUIs. So you're talking about Trump, and I'm telling you, this whole country is run by people who have.
You owe me $100. My Venmo and my PayPal are in my bio. You owe me that money. That is my money. Okay.
And just to get at the head of the curve, people, I didn't leave this live. If Dean kicks me, I'm just letting you know, because I see you do that a lot to people when you're like, oh, they left, they got. No, I'm not doing that. I'm telling you right now, you're somebody who follows the federal government to believe that your rights come from God and the Constitution, not over the federal law.
Hey, pay up.
That's all you're going to. You still haven't even told me how Kamala Harris lying about her job for the DA. You just skipped over that. You don't like to say anything negative about her.
We'll respond to the next. Pay up.
And I'm letting you know also that I know what you guys are doing on these lives because I've seen the contract between you and the Harris, and everybody's going to go to Gitmo for interelection interference. Because
wait, you think I'm paid by the Kamala Harris administration?
I 100% believe they're sending around contracts for you to do lives, and that they're telling you guys to influence, and I know you get perks off of it. So you guys are sick to me. That
Wait,
you guys
you think that I'm paid by the DNC?
Paid for it. I 100% believe you're bought out by the DNC, and you guys do the same things. Sexual that. You guys
Can you give me evidence that I'm paid by the DNC?
There's a lot of circulation going around. I'm telling you, I know they're out getting people just like they're buying people to go to rallies. It's disgusting what you guys are doing to the people.
So can you give me that evidence?
Dean, no matter what anybody says as a right-sided person, you're going to say, do this evidence. You know the media does not let anything that's actually...
Jay Carl, thank you for the $50 on PayPal from the DNC. Let's get some W's in the chat for Jay Carl with a $50. Holy shit, thank you for the love. Massive W's for Jay Carl in the chat. Thank you so much for the $50. One moment. And Carl, thank you for the $5 on Venmo from the DNC. And Joe with a $20 on PayPal from the DNC, and Purdy, shut up, Purdy with a $100 from the DNC. Holy shit! Let's get at least 1,000 W's in the chat for Purdy with a $100 on Venmo from the DNC. Martian with a subscription, and Catherine with a $5 on Venmo from the DNC. Purdy's going nuts with a $100. Joe with a $50. Holy shit! Thank y'all for the love.
Follows and believes you, and you know that this administration is bought and paid and paying people going.
Ryan with a $25 on Venmo from the DNC, and Tiffany with a $5 on Venmo from the DNC. Wait, could you thank Ryan and Tiffany for the $30 collected from the DNC?
I noticed this too. Are your followers, whenever you're having a debate and you want people to...
Nicholas, thank you for the $20 on Venmo from the DNC. W's for Nicholas down below. Thank you for my weekly DNC payment.
And
Naomi with a $10 on Venmo from the DNC. Sorry. Yo, Eden with a $50 on Venmo for dealing with a conspiracy theorist. Let's get at least 500 W's for Eden in the chat right now. Thank you for the $50. And Joe with a $30 on PayPal from the DNC. W's for Joe and Eden. And Kelby with a $15 for reloading your Antifa card. W's for Kelby. And Stephanie with a $5 as well.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. That's the crazy part. And all you keep doing is shouting out Venmo, and you're not addressing the conversation.
Okay, thank you for $5.
That's the crazy part.
Okay. Well, I was thanking George Soros and Taylor Swift for using bot shell accounts on Venmo and PayPal to send me my bi-weekly paycheck.
I know you're trying to be funny, Dean. It's not funny. Like,
Shanika,
it's really
thank you for the $10 on PayPal from the DNC. Thank you so much, Shanika.
You guys say you're so civil. I don't see any of the right-wing people going any of these debates and spam people and try to get their account banned. You want people to come on and debate with you, but you want their accounts banned, which, by the way, Dean, I love your platform, and I'm appreciative that you can be on TikTok, because the Biden administration had TikTok in
Anna, thank you for the $3 and the 33 cents on Venmo.
Saying that TikTok needed to be banned and was against our First Amendment. I know you know that, so it's pretty cool that you're on here saying how great they are, but you're on a platform they want to ban.
Can I be honest?
Yeah.
I'd rather lose my right to stream on TikTok than watch the 170 million American women and girls lose their right to health.
You're going to women and girls because that's what the left does. They start talking about women's and girls.
Sandy,
and when
thank you for the subscription. Can I also make another statement? So I just want to clarify here. All right. Do you think it's okay to believe in things without evidence?
Do I think it's okay to believe in things without evidence?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There's Santa Claus. What about Santa Claus? Do little kids kind of believe in Santa Claus without evidence?
Thank you for the Coral and Robert. Thank you for the $5 on Venmo from the RNC. Thank you for the $5, Robert.
Perfect. You didn't believe in the Easter Bunny or the Tooth Fairy or anything.
Did you just say that it's okay to believe in things without? Wow.
Did you believe in Santa Claus, Dean? Did you, or did you have a terrible childhood?
Yeah, I believed in Santa Claus.
No
Do I believe in Santa Claus today? No.
There's no evidence, Dean. There's no evidence. If you look at the evidence in a court of law, no fingerprints are going to be on your presidents, but your parents.
Hey, if it's okay to believe in things without evidence, why can't I just believe that Harris is a better candidate than Trump without evidence?
You can. That's your right as an American. That's what people fought for. That is your right. Just like it's my right to believe that Trump is a more amazing. See how you say, oh, geez? When I say you can do that for Kamala, but you say I can't do that for Trump. That's where the American problem comes in, because you're saying I'm not allowed to be American and say, hey, Dean, you have your right to believe in Kamala. I have my right to believe in Trump, and we should be able to live and coexist no matter what happens. You feel that we should get some side of people going and accuse them of something and then hate them. That's not how it's supposed to go. That's not what America fought for. America fought so that people could have their own views and still coincide and live together. And you're giving me that face, and it's true. That's actually what America was founded on. It wasn't supposed to go right, left.
Cindy, thank you for the subscription. Babe, you have the right to like slur black people. Does that mean that you should slur black people?
Oh my gosh, who is talking? That's what I'm saying. You always go to race on the left. Nobody's even talking about, I'm talking about being a patriot. America is allowed to believe in whatever they want without something bad coming out of it, without people hating each other.
Shanika, thank you for the $5 on Venmo. I appreciate you for the love, Shanika. All right, so I think my overwhelming point here is that we can have the legal ability to partake in an action. Naomi, thank you for the subscription. But just because we have the legal ability to doesn't mean that we should. All right, although you have the legal ability to vote.
And I'm not trying to do anything but debate. Nobody's saying, hey, Dean, I'm going to come on.
Hey, Law.
Hello,
honestly,
sir.
Law, I'm going to go ahead and pass the mic to you. Love is a sovereign citizen. Have fun. And Christopher, thank you for the $25 on Venmo saying she'll believe anything. So real. She just said it's okay to believe things without evidence. Let's get some W's for Christopher in the chat with the $25. Take it away, Law. Have fun. So she says that you are actually not mandated to pay federal taxes.
Not if you're a sovereign citizen and your rights come from the Constitution and the government. No, you're not. You're not required.
What's the 16th Amendment to the Constitution?
That's amended. I'm talking about the Constitution before the Congress got a hold of it. I'm talking about the actual. Don't talk to me about ratifications and amendments because they're placing those right and left. Yesterday, Congress talked about, we're going to amend the bill so that we can just.
Hold on. So who ratified the Constitution?
Elizabeth, thank you so much for the $20 on Venmo saying that you really don't know how I do this. Sometimes I don't either. W's for Elizabeth in the chat.
What year was the Constitution ratified? The one that you said gives us our rights?
I only know when the Constitution was founded, which was 1776.
Okay, that would have been the Declaration of Independence, not the Constitution.
The Declaration of Independence. Constitution, okay.
So the Constitution was ratified by Congress in 1889.
And you're telling me it has a federal law that you're supposed to pay taxes, even though they say taxes are voluntary on H&R website.
So the 16th Amendment gave the government the ability to levy income taxes. So that was passed just like every other amendment to the United States Constitution. An amendment to the Constitution is part of the Constitution.
And it is allowed to just keep going up and up and up and up until we're at 100% where we are taxed? Or was there actually supposed to be a ground where it was like, hey, 1% tax?
There was never a floor or a ceiling set when the 16th Amendment was passed.
They could just basically take all of our income is what you're saying, and we're slaves. They could go up to 100%, and then we're just going to be slaves of the government because that's what they said, right?
So who controls the power of the purse?
Our Congress, Senate, the President, the United States Federal Reserve, which is totally illegal.
Wow, you listed off everyone except the House of Representatives. So if your elected representatives...
Congress, I said Congress.
If your elected representatives levy an income tax, that is based off of your elected representatives. So there's nothing in the 16th Amendment that says there's a minimum or a maximum. It leaves it up to the people through their elected representatives to establish that.
So I'm asking you from a legal perspective, if they said we're going to take 100% of your income, they can do that, correct?
Under our current law, yes, if they could.
Then that's when you get Thomas Jefferson. Every single generation needs a revolution. It is not, it's literally in there because we wanted to go against the British at a 6% tax.
So real quick though, you're diverting from your initial point. Are you backtracking on the claim that there is?
Backtracking. What I'm saying is the federal government mandated these taxes for a war tax and then made an amendment to say, hey, this is what we decided you need to do. When as the people, our rights come from God in the Constitution, and that's all we need to listen to. So therefore, them amending stuff, that's not the original everything. That's not it. That's people now who have DUIs. I just listed everything, misconduct in Congress.
Does the Constitution protect your right to bear arms?
The Constitution does. Yeah. What are you saying on that?
Because that came through the Second Amendment. So how are amendments not constitutional?
They're trying to take away the Second Amendment. So you're telling me that they're not allowed
wait. Well, do you think it'd be okay for a police officer to take your guns away?
No, I'm asking him. So you're telling me
No, love, answer my question. Do you think it'd be okay for like a police officer to come into your house and take all your guns?
No, that'd be a violation of the Second and Fourth Amendments.
Wait, but love, those are I'm a sovereign citizen. Those Constitution amendments they don't apply. They're illegal. Oh my God, love. You are no sovereign citizen. One second. Be quiet and listen to the base red pillar. Okay, that's me. You are a sheep to the government if you think that officer can't take your government. You are a sheep to the federal government. You buy into this narrative, false, fake propaganda that those amendments are anything but illegal. You are such a sheep. You probably You probably think that Russia didn't have a right to invade Ukraine. You probably think that vaccine that you took with all your boosters didn't give you a microchip. Okay, right? You are a sheep to the government because you think that you have a right to own your guns.
No, Dean, you're 100% right. They do have the right to come and take my guns. And that's where all my MAGA in the chat, tell them, come and take it. Come and take it, Dean, because I'm not cute. I'm accurate. So I'm telling
Bella, thank you for the $6 and the 66 cents on Venmo. This is Comedy Gold. Y'all are wiping the floor. Thank you for the love, Bella.
Thanks, Cass.
Generation needs a revolution. And I'm telling you right now that they're playing with fire. You guys are really playing with fire and overstepping and overreaching on every aspect of the Constitution.
You know what I don't understand is like how you think that you want to call for a revolution, but then you vote for the Republican Party who supports the industrial military complex and increases our budget for military expenditure year by year. Like those motherfuckers have have like special black op UAVs and nukes now. Like they could like isolate for one person, have them out in less than 30 minutes because you voted for the Republican candidate who gave them more billions of dollars every year. But then you also say that you want to start a revolution. No, you understand that you have prevented the people from having the ability to revolt against the federal government because you decided to vote for the candidates who have invested $700 billion into expanding the unprecedented technology held by them to defeat any opponent, including the own citizens of our country.
And the crazy part is, whatever you're saying on here, people are still going to go out and vote how they want. And I'm telling you, mark my words, you can come back to my whole TikTok on November 5th. Donald J. Trump will be president, and I'm telling you that with facts, bro.
Donald J. Trump will be the president.
We won't know till November 6th, but...
Hey, Dean, you want to place a wager on it? We're smiling. You want to place a wager on it?
Let's place $100 on it. The $100 that you owe me.
We'll bet back. If he's not, Dean, I'll send you 200 because I'm a bet back.
No, you owe me
double or nothing, Dean.
Double or nothing.
Yeah, double or nothing. Give me my $100.
That means she just admitted that she owes you the first 100, which is great. But love, have you learned?
No, apparently they can tax us at 100%. You're right, and that's crazy to me that you guys think that we're actually going to let that happen.
Love, have you learned that constitutional amendments are part of the Constitution today?
Have you realized that Congress is a bunch of felons and they go for whoever's paying their pocket, and we're not putting up with that?
Wait, I have a question. How many felony convictions does she have? Zero. How many felony convictions does she have?
Tape of her doing something and the media is not going to post it.
How many felony convictions over here? And how many felony convictions over here?
He's not sentenced, Dean. Let's wait for that sentencing to happen, okay?
Wait, do you need to have a sentence to be a convicted felon?
You need to have some sort of... How can you just walk around with felon with no sentence?
If the sentencing hasn't happened yet?
Yeah, let's wait till it is, then you can come back and say that he has all these felonies.
Wait, law. Does it require for a defendant to be sentenced in order for them to be convicted?
No, if once the jury reads a guilty verdict, you have been convicted.
Thank you, Giga Chad lawyer.
And there's no right to appeal. There's no right for something such as when they said presidential immunity.
No, absolutely, but the conviction stands until it's vacated or appealed.
It'll be vacated. I'm not worried about that.
Wait, you said presidential immunity could apply here. So how could presidential immunity apply to these things that Trump did before he was our president?
They're saying he had some sort of payment that happened and misclassified documents and all this stuff that is presidential.
Oh, and thank you for the $1.
You know, the same thing where they found him at Biden's house, but they were like, we're not going to do anything about that because...
Elizabeth, thank you so much for the $20 on Venmo. Geez, for the additional pain, suffering, and trauma. Yeah, I'm going through it right now, Elizabeth. I appreciate your $20. You are phenomenal. W's for Elizabeth in the chat. Yeah, so Parker just texted me the only thing that Trump wins in is his felony convictions. And that's absolutely true.
Okay, we'll see.
So my life is being flagged for misinformation because of you.
Okay, well, so go ahead, Dean. You can take me like you want to, and I'm telling you, on November 5th, we'll see where the chips lie, shall we?
We'll see where it lies. So we'll see where. Can you pay me first, though?
Okay, well, maybe you'll be on here not doing this anymore.
No, wait, I'm not going to remove you until you give me the $100 that you owe me. Gabby, thank you for the $5 on Venmo for another burrito. I appreciate you.
Dean, I don't believe in the federal government. There's no law. You're talking about something that I don't believe in. So you're not.
Aaron, thank you for the $10 on Venmo saying, can I pay to kick? Yeah, you could pay $100 to kick. Wait, I want the damn $100 that she owes me. If
I'm not worried about it. I want the damn 100.
So go on pause. You have another echo. If someone wants to pay to kick, sure, go for it.
I want the damn 100.
Bro, listen, go on pause. You have an echo. Do not unmute your mic. Swipe out of the TikTok app. Go back into it.
I did unpause.
Swipe out of the TikTok app. Go back.
You need to do it again. Go on pause right now. Go on pause right now. You're not doing it. You're not going on pause. There you go.
I just did it.
There you go. Now you did it. Okay, I have a question for you. Would you ever vote for like someone that's been held liable for rape?
No, but Kamala would because she did with Biden and his daughter in the Biden diary.
So Biden's been held liable for rape? Can you show me the
No, they
jury
won't
verdict
hold
form?
him liable, Dean. We've been through this. This is insane to me that these people are actually listening to you, bro. This is crazy to me.
So would you vote for Trump if he's been held liable for rape?
I would vote for Trump because guess what?
Claire, thank you for the $5 on Venmo, adding the fund
He's the
to
only
kicker.
president that came
Victoria,
out
thank you
with
for
no
the
more
$5
money
on
than when
PayPal.
he
You're
went
amazing.
in. He donated his salary. Everybody else comes out richer.
So he donated
a third of his salary.
He donated
So he
it.
donated a third of his salary, then spent $140 million of taxpayers' money in his private golf. Of course.
He spent 100. So you're telling me that we're looking at Ukraine right now, and you're telling me that my tax dollars aren't creating inflation by them printing money and sending it over to Ukraine, which nobody wants except for a select few. So the whole Congress is voting for select few. People don't even want that.
Oh wait, if inflation is created by government spending, there's more government
Printing.
If inflation is created by printing money or an increase in the M2 money supply, Trump caused more inflation than Biden and Harris because there's a greater increase in the M2 money supply under Trump than Biden and Harris.
They are just printing blank money, Dean. And you know, that's the crazy part. You can't even argue with you guys because you guys are just going off with, oh my
I'm going
gosh,
off
the
of
media
facts
is not
and
reporting
stats.
all this.
No, I'm not
That's what
going off
saying.
of the
You guys
media.
are going
I'm
off-
literally going
Hey,
off of the Federal
listen to me.
Reserve.
November 5th, we're going to be singing a different tune. That's all I can say. I really don't care. You can stay on here and try
Holy
to think you're going to change
conspiracy.
people around.
Holy conspiracy. So can you give me a
You can
source
say
that
holy
indicates
conspiracy. It's actually, we're batting 1,000 right now. So, I mean, we're not conspiracy. We're truth tellers. But okay, Dean, you can do that.
You're a true truth teller.
Yep.
So I just want a point of clarification here. Marquest, thank you for the $10 on PayPal. I do appreciate you for the love, Marquest. W's for Marquest in the chat. So Donald Trump could literally
$10 on PayPal. I do
Oh my
appreciate
gosh,
you for
it's
the love,
doing
Marquest.
it
W's for
again.
Request in the
Go on
chat.
pause.
So Donald Trump could $10 on PayPal.
We're just gonna go to move on to our next guest. She owes me $100. I'm pissed. What's going on, Law? Feel free to hang out. I wanted to bring you up to talk to her, but if
I've got a quick hearing here in a bit, so I'm going to duck out, but I'll be back here probably 30 minutes or so if you're still on. In the meantime, everybody, Dean is sitting at 2.1 million. We have 7.5 thousand people here. If everybody fills up the bar 2 times, he'll be encroaching on 3 million. I want to see over 3 million by the time I get back, please. Thank you very much.
Hell yeah, have a good one, Law. Thanks for popping up, man. W's for Law in the chat. And W's for Samantha with the $6 and the 66 cents on Venmo as well. All right, we're going to move on to our next guest. Let me see a MAGA down below in that chat. If you are voting for Trump, we are going to go ahead and get our next guest up in the box right now. That last guest actually got the live flagged for misinfo. Hopefully the live doesn't get taken down for that because it usually levies a week ban. We're going to get our next guest up in here right now. We got Daniel loading up into the queue. I think that was the first sovereign citizen that I've ever had on the live. They're kind of wild. Hey, Daniel, are you voting for Trump?
Yes, sir.
Have we talked before?
No.
Okay, so why are you voting for Trump?
I'm a big proponent of Trump's healthcare policy.
Okay, which is?
The concepts. I'm kidding. All the best.
W for Daniel in the chat. Yeah, a big supporter of the concepts to plan a plan, of planning the plan, to plan the concepts of a plan, to plan the plan of the plan of the plan. Absolutely right. We're gonna move on to our next guest here. What's up? Are you voting for Trump?
Hi. So I don't know if I'm going to be voting for Trump per se, but I've always been a liberal. But the biggest thing for me at this current time is that whole conflict, Palestine.
I got you. Madison, thank you for the $5 on PayPal. I'm going to go to move on to my next guest because I'm just looking to debate Trump supporters, but I'll respond to that. Yeah, what's going on in Palestine is bad. I'd say that the left supports Israel, which is bad. However, Donald Trump supports it more. So within this context, we'd be voting for the lesser of two evils. But let's go and get our next guest up in here literally right now, everyone. Just give us a minute. We're going to go to get MAGA Millions up in the live. We're going to go to move on to our next guest. Hey, are you voting for Trump?
Yes, I am.
Oh, dear God. Ew. What?
What does that mean?
Sorry, my burrito's expired. Why are you voting for Trump?
Are you voting for Harris?
I'm voting for Harris. Why are you
voting for Harris?
Because she has better character and better policy. She's not a 34-count felon that sexualized her own daughter, boasted about walking into the changing rooms of half-naked teenage girls. Right? She also hasn't raped a woman, been held civilly liable for it. She hasn't tried to religiously persecute all new Muslims from entering into our country. Right? She hasn't called for the death penalty. The Central Park Five, even after they were exonerated for their crimes, are called all black people lazy or denied housing opportunities to black people in the 70s. Right? Kamala Harris also hasn't overturned Roe v. Wade, which resulted in 65,000 victims of rape not being able to get an abortion in the last 3 years. And then her policy is better because it's for the American people, it's for the average working class American, unlike Trump's that is for the rich men. And she hasn't tried to overthrow our country with an attempted coup.
Every one of those things have not a single qualification for her to run the country.
What? Yeah, of course they do. You don't think that trying to overthrow the country is...
I personally don't. I'm sorry. I don't like
Yo, swipe in and out of the app, man. You got a weird echo. Just leave the app, go back into it. Please listen to me. Please listen to me. Go out of the app and back in. There you go. Unmute.
It's just this part.
Okay, MAGA Millions, you had some music playing on the background. Feel free to hop back in the queue. We're going to go to move on to our next guest. I really wanted to talk to MAGA Millions, so that is quite unfortunate. But we're going to go to get our next guest, Brookie, up in the live. I'm pretty sure the live stopped sending out, but that's all right. It is what it is. Margaret, thank you for the $5 on Venmo. If anyone else hanging out with us in here today does want to support me, my Venmo as well as my PayPal are in my bio, guys. 100% of the proceeds on those platforms goes directly to me compared to about 30% here on TikTok. But I appreciate y'all so much for being in here. We're going to go to move on to our next guest. We got Mama 3 invited up to the live. Hey, Lacey, are you voting for Trump?
Turn on the internet.
Lacey, hi. Okay, Lacey's not here. We're going to go to move on to our next guest. Everyone just give us a minute. Everyone do be patient. Let's go ahead and see what our next guest has to say. Do double tap on that phone screen. Let's try to get up to 3 million likes. We got our next guest loading in right now. Also, guys, I'm kind of like on my blow up arc on Twitter right now. I'm about to hit 50,000 followers. Let's go. And I made the account like only a handful of days ago. We got our next guest loading in right now. Let's go to get Coop up in the live. Everyone do be patient. Everybody be patient. Give us a minute. Everybody be patient. Let's go to see what our next guest has to say. Yo, spam MAGA in the chat if you want to come up. Someone call me Blonde Tom Holland. I know. Let's go to see what our next guest has to say. Someone in the chat said that Dean is so humble after I said on my blow up arc on Twitter. That's kind of funny. I try to be humble, but it's just, funny. Our next guest is loading in right now. Everyone be patient. Everybody be patient. Be patient. Hi, are you voting for Trump?
Yes, sir, I am.
Oh, why?
I feel like Trump's going to be a more natural leader than Ms. Harris.
Okay, why?
Well, the rhetoric that Trump spits out fits well with my moral values.
Oh, like calling all black people lazy or saying that all immigrants are MS-13 gang members? Tiffany, thank you for the $25 on Venmo for choking the Maggots D. Thank you for the $25. W's for Teresa in the chat for the $25 on Venmo. W's for Teresa down below. What's that?
Oh, I said, did my use of the word rhetoric not trigger that I was trolling you? Sorry, man.
No, I just thought, honestly, I appreciate you for coming up. I really just thought, maybe a Trump supporter would actually say that. I think that there's a lot of Trump supporters that would genuinely say that. It is sad that I cannot tell the difference between a troll and a genuine Trump voter. I think that's actually pretty outrageous, quite frankly. We're going to go to move on to our next guest. Everyone do be patient. Go ahead and give us a minute here, guys. Let's go and get our next guest up in the box. Cindy, thank you for the hand arts. Megan with a dolphin. Farah with a heart me. We're going to go ahead and get our next guest up in here, y'all. For the 7.2 thousand people, make sure that we're double tapping. We got our next guest loading in literally right now. Spam MAGA in the chat if you want to come up. We have so many people attempting to load in, and they're just not loading in. Yeah, that says a lot about MAGA. So real. So real, so real, so real. Quite frankly, so real. Thank you so much for the love, everybody. You guys are being great today. All right, we got our next guest loading in right now. Hi, are you voting for Trump?
Yes.
Okay, how old are you?
26.
Why are you voting for Trump?
Because all of our police enforcement and military endorses him.
False. So Donald Trump has undermined the criminal justice system. He's decreased public faith in it by saying that all these court cases against him are rigged. And Donald Trump also said that he wanted to pardon people that were convicted of violently assaulting police officers on January 6th.
So the New York Police Department is endorsing him, the same state that's trying to make these felony convictions towards Trump. So that's actually accurate. So
oh, you think it's accurate that he's being politically persecuted? Can you give me any evidence?
The state that the police enforcement is endorsing him. So do you think the police are wrong that they shouldn't be endorsing someone that's sexually assaulting people? Do you think that's right that they're endorsing him?
Yeah, that's very bad for them to do. They shouldn't do that, and it's also incredibly hypocritical.
So then, do you think we shouldn't have the New York Police Department?
Well, I don't think that he should have the New York Police Department endorsing him.
Right, because they're the ones that actually are supposed to uphold the laws.
Right, exactly.
In our country. So why are people upholding laws in our country supporting him?
Yeah, probably because they buy into the same propaganda you do. They're humans at the end of the day.
Well, that just defeats your logic of saying that he's sexually assaulted.
Wait, you think that the endorsement from a PD defeats the idea that he's so he was held liable by a jury?
Yes, because those people were actually on the streets, actually like protecting our country. You're sitting on a chair debating on TikTok. So yes, I'm going to actually go with what they say. Can you show me? They're the people that are doing crimes.
So how come you side with our law enforcement and criminal justice system when it contains to endorsing Trump, but you don't side with our law enforcement and criminal justice system when it comes to like holding him liable for sexual abuse?
Well, isn't that their job? So why aren't they doing that?
They held him liable for sexual abuse. Right? That is something that they've done. If you look up the jury verdict form from Trump v. Carroll, you could read it yourself. A unanimous jury of 9 of his peers, right, specifically concluded that, yeah, he's guilty of rape.
So then why are law enforcement agencies supporting a rapist?
Yeah, because Elizabeth, thank you for the $5 on Venmo. Because I think at the end of the day, like we live in a very polarized society that is very susceptible to, Purdy, thank you for the sage, very susceptible to like conspiracy theory and like holding beliefs without evidence. Purdy, thank you for the sage. And Farah, thank you for the $10 on Venmo. You're absolutely beautiful. Thank you for the love. And I don't think just because you're a cop means that you're not susceptible to conspiracy theory. Just because you're a cop doesn't mean that you're not susceptible to holding beliefs without good reason. Just because you're a cop doesn't mean that you're not susceptible to misinformation. I mean, like, I know, like, lawyers and doctors that, like, think that it wasn't the real Donald Trump that got shot in the ear at that rally in like, Pennsylvania. I think that, like, conspiracy theory has, like, worked its way into our society predominantly through religion. Like, that just makes people, like, more susceptible to holding beliefs without reason. And I think that's ultimately why we'd see, like,
so my
endorsements from these
stepmom's a
agencies.
prosecutor. She's a prosecutor for the city of Akron, and she endorses Trump. So do you think her knowledge of going to school for 7 years, do you think that's something that she wasn't taught to actually...
Wait, Kamala Harris is a prosecutor.
No, my stepmother is a prosecutor for the city of Akron.
Yeah, and your stepmother absolutely could not defeat me in an argument insofar as if the court that ruled that he's a sexual abuser is accurate or not. But if you care about endorsements, why aren't you talking about the 44 of Trump's 46 cabinet members that are not endorsing him today, including his former vice presidents, Mike Pence, that will not vote for Trump because he says Trump asked him to place himself above the Constitution?
Well, I don't support Kamala, because her vice president believes in putting tampons in 4th to 12th grade students' high school.
That's a pivot.
He actually passed that. So do you believe in that?
So, I mean, I could go and respond to that. So the legislation...
Boys need tampons in their schools?
So the legislation that he passed, right, was to make menstrual products readily available and accessible, right, within the public schooling system, and it didn't specify anything in the bill about what bathrooms they can or can't go in. It just specified that they want to have government expenditure to pay for them, and then there was some schools that turned around and made personal decisions. But I think it's crazy that you as a strong alpha man are scared of a fucking tampon.
That argument's so stupid because it's actually like, what are you going to use the tampon for in the bathroom? Are you going to stick it up your butt? What are you going to use it for?
Okay. Well, I mean, if you want to know about, like, first of all, I mean, so the reason, so first of all, the reason of putting like tampons in the boys' bathroom would be for trans boys, but like there's functional use for tampons outside of that, but I don't even think that's relevant. But like once again, right? The language of the bill didn't specify what bathroom they're supposed to be in. It gave the schools the ability to make that determination themselves. But you never answered my question. Why don't you care about the 46 of Trump's 44 of the Trump's 46 former cabinet members not endorsing him today?
Because I actually support the people that are on the land that's actually like in the cities protecting us. These people are just in an office passing legislation and bills. I actually would go and I would actually support the people that are actually protecting us from criminals and murderers and rapists. And that's what your like conversation and your debate is so contradictory, that you're saying that he's a rapist and he does all these things. But people.
Wait, can you show me in the NYPD's? Yeah, can you show me the NYPD's endorsement of Trump today?
Do you know Rudy Giuliani? Do you know him?
His name's pronounced Giuliani, not Giuliani.
Yeah, okay.
Can you wait? I'm asking you a question.
New York's.
Can you show me? Can you show me NYPD's endorsement for Trump for the 2024 election?
Here, I'll play a clip
from 2024.
So wait, so you're saying they endorsed him also for 2020 and 2016. So why would they?
So where's their endorsement for 2024?
So you're saying this whole time they've been supporting a rapist and someone that's touching kids?
Actually, the court case that concluded that he's a sexual abuser concluded in 2022.
Well, I've never seen Trump,
after their 2020 endorsement.
I've never seen Trump sniff little kids' hair like Biden. So
hey, show me an endorsement from the NYPD for Donald Trump in 2024, after he was held liable for raping a woman.
Okay, I can play a clip for you.
There's not one. Everybody, after you finish watching this live, look up NYPD supports Trump. You will find no endorsement from the NYPD for Donald Trump in 2024. Zero. None. The NYPD doesn't endorse Trump. Pipsqueak?
Well, I know Akron does.
Where's the endorsement from the NYPD?
Akron, like where LeBron came from in Ohio.
Kylie, I appreciate you for the $5 on Venmo. Give me the endorsement from the NYPD for Donald Trump today, little bro. So you lied. Everybody point and laugh, point and laugh, point and laugh.
Then make your proof that they didn't. Make your proof that you didn't.
Gang, thank you for the $10 on Venmo. I'm an NYCD and guess is a liar. So my proof that you're wrong is your lack of evidence. But if I have the burden of proof to prove the negation of your claim, 1 second. If you're saying that I have the burden of proof to prove you wrong, so the reason that you shouldn't vote for Trump is because last night he raped a little girl.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. You're pivoting. You're not showing me evidence that there's no police endorsement from NYPD of this in 2024.
Yeah. So my response to that is you have the burden of proof because you made the positive claim. But I'm fine with accepting your logic. So I actually don't have any evidence to show that they haven't endorsed him. I only have a lack of evidence. So wait, I just want to clarify. So you shouldn't vote for Trump because last night he raped, tortured, and unalived a little girl.
So wait, weren't they the leader of the KKK?
Wait, we could talk about that next. You shouldn't vote for Trump because last night he raped, tortured, and imprisoned a little.
And then also,
hey, stop deflecting. You're breaking my neck.
Well, no,
you shouldn't vote for Trump.
You pivoted off your evidence, so I can actually.
No. It's conceptually related. It's conceptually related. Last night, Donald Trump raped, tortured, and killed a little girl. That's why you shouldn't vote for him.
And that's what, you're just words. There's no evidence. There's no proof that you're showing.
Oh, wait. No. You need to prove me wrong.
Okay.
Yeah, where's your proof that I'm wrong, buddy?
All right.
See how, stupid of a point that was? Yeah, like absolutely idiotic. That was to say, truly. Yeah, I mean, come on. You can't make this shit up. The dissonance is real. Judy, thank you for the subscription. I appreciate you for the love. The silence speaks volumes. Yeah, they always think they can beat me. They can never beat me. Joe, thank you for the $10 on PayPal. I appreciate you for the love, Joe. The silence is loud. Quite frankly, do you have anything to say, or have you been beat?
Say for just a few minutes the Biden border bloodbath they want to talk about.
Z2. Z-Dello?
We're a nation in the
Oh, okay. He can't debate, so he went back to a safe space of listening to Trump.
This is April 2nd, 2024, everyone.
If I could, I'll ask Police Officers Association of Michigan President James Tiganelli to come up. He's a fantastic man, respected all over the country. Thank you, James, please.
What an honor to be here and with all these leaders of law enforcement and Congress with you here, waiting for the next trip up to D.C. with you. I wanted to tell you a little bit about recruiting, retention, and what the life of the police are like right now. That we know
fast fucking forward
because you did the last time, just because of how you feel about it.
First of all, Michigan is not New York, and second of all, a union is not a department. Okay. Carry on. Unmute.
Okay, so, but wait. I mean, I came up here to debate with you, but I mean, obviously you don't support our police departments. You don't support law enforcement. You're
Donald Trump once again said that he wants to pardon people that were criminally convicted of assaulting police departments on January 6th. Does that mean that Donald Trump doesn't support our law enforcement?
Trump does support them. I don't know.
So then why does he want to pardon people that like violently assaulted cops on Jan 6th?
Did you know a cop shot and killed a woman on January?
Ashley Babbitt, yeah. So why does he want to pardon people that violently assaulted cops?
Did Ashley Babbitt have a weapon? Did she have a
Nicholas, thank you so much for the $10 on PayPal. I appreciate you so much for the love. Dude, you're breaking my neck. I'm done with the pivots. If you pivot again, I'm just going to kick you. You're annoying the shit out of me.
Okay, go put your tampon up your ass, Dean. Have a good day.
Okay, run away.
All right.
Hey, real quick, I actually have a question before you run.
Wait, no. Tim Walls wants to give you a free box of tampons for your life, Dan or Dean.
Ella, thank you for the $1 on Venmo. So yeah, so your goal here is when you absolutely
yes, go put a tampon.
So your goal here is when you absolutely get destroyed in a debate, to just tell me that I need a tampon. Fucking corny. Gracie, thank you for the $10 on Venmo, and Dean, we trust. W's for Gracie in the chat. Go ahead, unmute, cry more. I like it when you cry. The W's for Gracie in the chat. Continue to cry.
Okay, I talked to Parker on his live like 2 weeks ago about all of this stuff, right? So you're the second person I'm coming to now. I watched your Jubilee debate. You did really good, Dean. With
yeah, there we go. That's what I like. Flatter me.
You were respectful, I will say.
Moving on. Yeah, give me the flattery. That's what I need. That's what I need. Quite frankly, that's what I need. See what I mean, bro? I yield the power.
Yeah, my man. What's up, buddy?
You need to chill. Hannah, thank you for the $10 on Venmo for the tampons. I appreciate you for the love. Thank you for the $10 on Venmo, Hannah. So, hey, could you give me one good reason to vote for Trump over Harris?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, we already went over this yesterday. Real quick, I need to get over
We talked for like 5 minutes. We didn't really go over it.
The police, well, yeah, I know, because I got kicked off. So the police unions, do you realize that NYPD doesn't endorse anybody? And do you even know what their union is? Have you ever heard of something called the FOP? What does it stand for?
I don't know what the union is.
It's the Fraternal Order of Police. And guess who backed Trump?
The Fraternal Order of Police.
Right.
I know that. That's true. But like his specific claim is that the NYPD backed him, but which was false.
They did.
Because in 2020, not today.
No, but they did. So that's the other thing I wanted to ask you too is yesterday we spoke on. I assume you believe in like what the hell is it? We came from monkeys and all that shit, right?
What?
Is that what you think? Evolution? You believe in evolution? I assume.
What the fuck does evolution have to do with who I'm voting for?
Dude, we're off that. Let's talk about the trans stuff. We already know that you're voting for Kamala.
Naomi, thank you for the $20 on Venmo. Let's get 1 billion W's in the chat for Naomi. W's for Naomi in the chat. Thank you for the $20 on Venmo. Thank you for the love. So you want to talk about evolution and what?
Yeah, let's talk about evolution. And let's talk about...
You want to talk about evolution and trans people?
Yeah.
What?
Wait, so what was your take on abortion? Because I got cut off. I was on the plane earlier.
What?
What was your take on abortion?
You came up on my live earlier. You requested in a plane?
Yeah, dude.
What the fuck is going on?
Bro, you don't know me.
I don't want to. What the fuck is going on?
That's why I got cut out, dude, because I was enjoying our chat. I wanted to get in on it.
Okay. You want to? Okay, what do you want to talk about when it comes to evolution? Now abortion too. So you want to talk about evolution, abortion, and trans people?
Hold on. I have to give you credit though, because you said that, if I heard you correctly, you believe that 24 to 25 weeks is like anything past that you feel personally it's murder.
Yeah, about 20 through 24 weeks. Any elective lethal abortion after that point is murder. Yeah.
I had to say, I have a different view on it. But I'm surprised, to be honest, that you didn't say it was a 9-month, doesn't matter when type deal. So
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Okay, what is it like to literally be delusional?
Buddy, you have to live inside these eyes to know what it's like.
Realize. Is that something that you posted on Facebook before?
Realize? No.
No. Okay. So I'm still waiting for you to give me one reason why Trump is better than Harris.
Well, all right. Let's look at Tampon Timmy Walls. He has to fix 3.5 years of.
Okay, so why do you call him Tampon Tim?
I don't know. I just started going around. I have no idea why.
You're literally giving him free promotion. I just want to let you know, like Tim Walz supporting public schools, giving free menstrual products to those that need it is not the dunk you think it is. I just want to put that out there.
Well, but menstrual products to
glorious good man Tim Walz, right? The person that supports individuals in public schools that gave him free lunch and free tampons. Walz. You think that makes him look bad? Oh, the horror.
Wait. Oh, no. I just said Tampon Tim because I don't really know anything about him.
Keep saying it. I want everyone to know. Yes, please, keep saying it. I want everybody to know that Tim Walz wanted to give free menstrual products to those that need it. Please continue to call him that. And so every time you do call him that, someone could point out the fact that that is a really good thing he did.
I understand that, but giving tampons to somebody doesn't make you good. Big deal. So we gave tampons to girls at school. Whoop-de-doo.
Oh, whoop-de-doo. Supporting kids at school, making it so they don't have to spend their money or their parents' money on a lunch so they can be more productive and making sure that they don't run out of menstrual products or either don't have them available to them at the time and because they always have them available in the schools. Whoop-de-doo. Get a
no, that's not, you think that's a great thing for somebody? Like, he gives tampons to girls in school? Like, is that what you would vote for? Because
that's a fucking man.
It's
what? Yeah. Try needing one. And then talk about it. It's a great thing.
Wait, let's talk about the presidents. Why do you keep diverting? Stop diverting. You're getting choked up like yesterday. I can see you quivering again. Just stop.
I'm quivering?
Yes, you can see it. You don't see you're so young yet. You don't realize what nervous twitches are in your face that you can't control. Yeah.
You're trying to gaslight me.
Bro, I actually don't want to gaslight you. I think you actually are fun to debate. I swear to God.
You're trying to gaslight me.
Well, you try and gaslight everyone else.
Oh my God, you just admitted to trying to gaslight me.
What is Kamala? Tell me this. Why should I vote for Kamala based solely on what has happened over the past 3.5 years? What would make me look forward to voting for her? What is she going to change that they ruined over the past 3.5 years?
Okay, what did they ruin over the last 3 years?
Yeah. So you said that Trump had the lowest, most unemployment or something during whatever. He had
the highest rate of unemployment ever. Oh,
okay. You can't compare that.
So it's not. So I just want to clarify. You don't think it's fair to attribute things that happen in our country that were bad to the president if they're caused by COVID. So therefore, it's not fair to attribute the bad inflation that we've had here in the U.S. to Biden and Harris because it was caused by COVID.
Oh, it was totally caused by COVID.
Kaisu, thank you for the $20 on PayPal. Let's get at least 200 W's in the chat for Kaisu. I really appreciate you for the $20 on PayPal. Let's get some massive W's for Kaisu down below. Thank you so much for the $20. Can you thank Kaisu for the $20, little bro?
Thank you, Kaisu.
Okay, and then also, would you ever vote for someone that wanted to ban all new Christians from coming into our country?
Well, see that you don't have the right facts there because he didn't say ban all new Christians.
He said ban all new Muslims, right? But it's a conceptual analogy. So would you ever vote for someone that wanted to ban all new Christians from entering?
No, but you have to realize something though. Where during that time, during 9/11, if that's what you're talking about, he put a complete stop to everybody in and out. He did it within minutes. If your same cabinet was up there and 9/11 struck, what would have happened? 9/11, you had Sleepy Joe in the White House.
So you're saying that Trump was president on 9/11?
No, did I just say that?
Angie with the $20 on PayPal. They're scared of anything that gets close to a vagina. Yeah, they're definitely not scared of themselves. Thank you for the $20 on PayPal. I do really appreciate you for the love, Angie. W's in the chat for Angie. Yeah, you did. So I just want to clarify. You're saying that it was justified for him to ban all new Muslim entries because you think that Muslims are bad. Okay, so first of all, we actually see higher rates of domestic terrorism committed by Christians compared to Muslims. And there's also lower rates of violent crimes and Muslims that are in countries that are Muslim dominated compared to ones that are not.
Let's talk fact. So we have right now. So you don't have a family, obviously, right? I'm not being facetious. You don't have kids and stuff. So you don't.
Yeah, actually, I do have kids. You are one of them. I am little bro in you. Call me daddy.
Do you really have kids?
Yeah, you are one of them. Call me daddy. I'm little bro in you. Get mogged.
I didn't know Parker could get you pregnant.
Oh, it was. Okay. That was pretty good. That was pretty good. Kendra, thank you for the $2 on Venmo.
Really, honestly, did you let everyone know you guys were
pretty good. You know what? I'm gonna get. I rarely give it. I rarely give it to the guests. I rarely give it to the guests. I think the last guest I gave it to was when they called me a toilet licker. That was pretty good. That was
That's
okay.
Not even
I'll give
good,
that to you. He kind of ate with that. Ryan, thank you for the $5 on Venmo. Naomi, thank you for the $5 on Venmo as well. Thank you for the love.
Hey, man, you're good. You're gonna be. I do have to run. I got to go to football, but I want to come back and debate you later.
Yeah, have a good one, man.
All right, brother.
Dude, he's like I guess it's a little bit off the rails, but you know he's kind of funny. We're gonna move on to our next guest here. Let's go to see what our next guest here has to say. Everyone, just give us a minute. Dude, quit the coffee. I need more coffee. Actually, I'm starting to get a little bit lightheaded, guys. Is Parker live? Yeah, he kind of chewed with that. That was good. Yo, Joseph with the $50 on PayPal. I appreciate you for the love, Joseph. That's insane. Holy shit. Thank you for the love, Joseph. Let's get some massive W's in the chat for Joseph literally right now with a $50 on PayPal. You were literally awesome. Massive W's for Joseph right now. Thank you for the $50 on PayPal. I'm so grateful, man. We're going to get our next guest, Bradley, up in here. Y'all spam MAGA in the chat if you want to come up. I'm thinking about doing a restart on the stream here. Like, seemingly we aren't sending out. I understand that we have 6.6 thousand people hanging out with us in here. But I think that the live stopped sending out a while ago when we got a flag for misinfo. Yeah, also, Parker not being live yet is weird. We're going to get our next guest up in here right now. A snack would be nice. I am very hungry. And 3 million likes. Let's go, dude. W's in the chat for 3 millo. Massive W's. That's phenomenal. All right, everyone, give us a minute. Let's go and see what our next guest has to say. We got Beatrix loading in. Everyone be patient. Izzy loading in. Let's see. Ben loading in. Yeah, I'm thinking about a restart. We've been live for 3 hours? Wow. Another 2 to 5 hours to go. Another 2 to 3 hours to go. Okay, literally no one is connecting. Here's what I'm going to do. You know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to disconnect all the guests. And then I'm also going to I'm going to clear out the queue. I'm going to clear out the queue, allow requests from viewers, turn them off, turn them back on, hop in the requests if you want to come up and debate. Oh, just put them right back in the requests. Eat man, I have like a half a burrito sitting over there. Yeah. All right. Hey, for the 6.3 thousand people, we're going to go ahead and restart our stream real quick. While we're restarting, I'm going to get a little snack. So I'll be back on in 30 minutes. I'm just going to chow down this burrito. Everyone click on my profile, right? Make sure to follow if you haven't already. My goal is 700K by the end of the week. And go like my recent TikTok. I think it's kind of flopping in the algorithm, but that's okay. Go like it up. I will see you all shortly. Bye-bye.
their population registry. The water and the resources are actually paid by the taxes of West Bankers. So even though other Palestinians are paying for the resources for Gazans, that is still controlled by Israel, right?
Okay.
And
Whoa,
they control
Dean,
every
thank you so much for the raid. Big W Dean in the
Palestinian
comment
life.
section. I'm
Kobe,
so sorry.
where
Where
are
you
from?
Where are you from? Do you mind me asking?
I'm Afro-German.
Okay, so you live in Germany?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Yo, it's Dean.
Yeah. Huge W. Dean in the comments. Sorry for interrupting you.
No, it's okay. Typical male.
I know, right? I was literally fucking thinking that. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, Stan, that's
my
why you should
God.
not listen to Ian. Sorry.
I think you might be
John.
Oh, I'm so sorry, man. I'm a little slow today.
Yeah. So there are no two sides to this. And if you are kind of like wary about a one-state solution, then I would suggest that you read Jeff Halper, who is an Israeli academic. He wrote a book called Decolonizing Israel and Liberating Palestine, The Case for a One-State Solution, in which he explains why the one-state solution would be best for all.
Exactly, and I think Israel should be the one to control it.
Absolutely not. They're a genocidal regime. No. They've literally unalived over 558 Lebanese people in 12 hours.
All I know is if you put Hamas or Fatah or Islamic Jihad in control, they would immediately genocide all of Israel.
Do you justify the unaliving of 558 people in 12 hours?
No, and I don't justify the complete elimination of the Jewish state and all the people in it.
Who said eliminating Jewish people?
Covey.
I'm confused.
They will. They will.
Covey, if you made this point already, I have a feeling you did. But like, Stan, what do you think some of the rationalizations of the slave owners were for not ending slavery?
That one you got me critically. I have no idea.
What you just said it. If you should have realized I was kind of hinting at that. Yeah, they thought that if they freed the slaves, like they would all murder them. So they said, well, what can we do?
That's what white South Africans thought as well. White South Africans thought that if the apartheid regime were ever to crumble, that they would all be unalived by black South Africans. Do you know what happened? Yeah, none of that happened. White South Africans were not eliminated. White slave masters were not eliminated either. People just want to be free. That is intrinsic to our human nature. We want to live a life of liberty and dignity. You should know that as an American. You celebrate that every July the 4th. So I don't understand if you understand that your right as a human being on this earth is to be free, why you don't allow Palestinians also to be free, because that's all they want. In 1920s, the Palestinian Arab Congress actually voted for Jewish political representation to exist in the secular state that would have been established. In 1947, they also voted for a unitary state for all, the Palestinian Arab Congress. They have always wanted to be free. Palestinians are not all these flaming Islamo-Nazi anti-Semites who just want to eliminate Jewish people. They want to be free.
Well, I believe that Israel would offer them the best ability to do that. I still, from what I've seen, I'm sorry.
There has never, ever been.
I just don't. I believe the solution. I agree with you that there's a lot of issues there, but I do not believe that there is a Palestinian form of government, or from the West Bank or from Gaza, that would be capable of running the whole show.
So there has never been a single offering for a Palestinian sovereign state since 1948. There has not been a single Israeli administration that offered a sovereign state. Says Anska, who is a Jewish American, I think, or Canadian scholar,
Because
actually wrote a whole book about it called Preventing Palestine. Right?
All you have to do to get to a state is you have to agree that there is a right to exist and work within that state and make peace. Didn't the
PLO do that during the Oslo Accords?
Just like Anwar Sadat reached across
Didn't
and
the
made
PLO
peace.
do that, Stan?
Yes, but he said.
And what happened to the West Bank?
He said, I wanted to make peace with Israel, but when I went back home, I would have been eliminated. He said that.
What happened?